Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Happy Sunday.
Yay for you and yay for us.
Yay for us. Capital U, lowercase s. Man, this is such an exciting day. We have one of the greatest lineups we've ever had on a Tavern Talk.
Hour.
I'm nervous. Dan, real quick. I kind of have this sense about things. I've been taking the pulse of the Wheel of Time community, and I feel like there's a little bit of content fatigue. There's been a lot going on today. Daniel Green.
Yeah, apparently all kinds of stuff. And since we're mentioning the comments, Ronio, we are your friend. Thank you for joining us. I love you, man.
But don't grab me. That'd be weird.
No, you can grab me.
Yeah, no, but what I was saying, so Daniel Green, competing with Dusty Will, that was crazy. It's I can't imagine the emotional, toll that's been taken on everyone. So what I'm saying is I'm going to bring the energy.
It was like WWE SmackDown number 49. Do you remember that day, Ryan? I think it was in Tampa Bay, Florida. All right. We'll talk about that later. All right. Let's bring our guest in, Ryan.
I'm absolutely 100% ready for that.
Well, let's just do it. Do it.
Extended remix. Oh, hey!
Oh, there's all our friends. Oh, and they live happily ever after. Oh, Rob's still here.
Brother Dan, that was the first time someone dropped out already.
That was the first time what?
We've had a guest taking notes and reading at the same time. Only Morgan.
Ferocious.
I was taking notes from a book.
Ferocious.
What book?
The Wheel of Time Companion for podcasting purposes.
Ooh.
So responsible. Mine is drinks and drinking because that's where my priorities lie.
That seems better.
And you color coordinated it. It's great.
Everything is color coordinated, it seems. I'd love to say that was intentional. That's just
It was. We'll just say it was.
It was.
Okay, so, and also you promised that after our mid-show break, you're going to give us an entirely new color palette, right?
I did.
Yes, Anne. I can't wait. Thank you for that. Yeah, awesome.
All right. Have to get different colored alcohol as well.
Well, let's go ahead and introduce our guest.
First off, let me open the tavern door. It never gets old.
I see you've still not got that WD-40 yet, have you, mate?
I'm about to say, I'm just put some grease on those wheels. Jeez.
They hadn't discovered silicone yet, so.
Thank God I have headphones in. My two roommates have already been confused, but now.
I think it's the creepiest, dungeoniest indoor Ryan could find. It's like it puts the lotion on the basket in.
Look.
We're talking about lotion?
Are we already on to lotion talk?
Sorry about that, Morgan.
I mean,
make me spit cake on my computer.
What am I seeing?
I don't choose the taverns choose me. And I don't begrudge her. I think it has character. You guys all suck.
At least we weren't going downstairs.
I'm fine with it.
I'm going to go to your house soon and just be criticizing every creaky door. I'll be like,
my back door sticks, Ryan. Yeah, my back door sticks when I try to open it. Do you want to come,
you have an ant problem?
You
have an ant problem, and basically you're opening every single door. This step creaks.
Yes. This floorboard is really loose.
You see how the storks he has in his roof? That's really weird. Fix your thatch, bro.
Your thatch, bro.
Fix your thatch, bro. All right, so we got guests, Ryan, Rob.
Yeah.
As always, thank you for joining us. Thank you for Rob is going to do his magic behind the stage. He is our production Aes Sedai. He's going to. I don't know what color fringe that is. I think it's just binary. I don't know. That wasn't a good.
It's
joke.
like two different colors at once. Like
It's just ones and zeros. Yeah.
like mauve.
Oh yeah.
That's code.
It's taupe.
We've already had a request. Can we have a close up of Morgan's unicorn mug, please?
Well, she's apparently frozen up. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Let's bring it in.
Eat a
Eat a
giant
giant
bag of dick.
What the hell?
It was
Yes.
it was a wedding present
Awesome.
from
So
my
much more
boss.
questions. So many more questions. So many more.
I feel like maybe I should be insulted.
My kind of bridal party, though.
Yes, from
Oh,
my
yeah.
boss.
Excellent. Even better.
Yeah.
So our show has met Morgan before. Morgan was our new best friend just a couple months ago. But we have two new best friends. We have from Light Take the Wheel, in which she negotiates the mean streets of any town, USA, and talks Wheel of Time stuff while driving. I think it's clever. I really like it.
It was the only way that I could actually get videos started. I mean, I didn't have a home studio, and I was just like, the most time that I actually had quiet time was just on my, in my Joe car, just basically running around, dropping my kid off at school. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm recording a video.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
They're really well spoken. They're funny as hell. And it's guys. I'm sure people. Not enough people have subscribed, so please check out CallMeNakomi on YouTube for sure.
Thank you.
And Ryan, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I hope we get to see maybe some guests in your car, like Jerry
James
Seinfeld.
Corden.
Seinfeld, yeah.
Oh, is this? Are you doing? Who's that guy who does drive along and he has interviews and they sing in the car and stuff?
James Corden.
James
Yeah,
Corden.
yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Like, let's have some of that.
Soon, Nakomi will have Adele in her car. We all.
I
know that's
just
true.
had. Oh, that would be awesome. I just, funny enough, I was watching Chappelle's show and was watching the Wayne Brady episode when he basically was driving Dave around and shooting people, and he's a pimp,
Yes.
and he kills a cop on the street.
Yes.
basically.
Yes.
And Dave is calling for help. That's what I want to be. I want to be Wayne Brady, and the person in the car is yelling for help. Basically.
Yeah, Deadpool karaoke. That's what that would be.
Exactly.
That's the greatest thing.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. Exactly.
God. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, everyone check that out in the coming episodes. We're gonna see some violence. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Road
all right,
rage.
So real quickly though, fast forward 3 months, something's happened in CallMeNakomi's life. She's now an Uber driver making videos while driving.
Right. They're like,
That would be awesome.
do you want a water?
Water.
Oh, can't smell.
as you're doing your
Exactly.
video, the guy's like, "Can we go to McDonald's? Do you have an issue with? I'll pay you." Like,
Can we go to McDonald's? That's the question. Let's go. Why can't we go to McDonald's?
What?
Oh,
See? Look at esoteric.
Why can't
do I
we?
smell a conspiracy?
There you go. You would have to call it Joe Car karaoke, I think.
Yes. Joe
Ooh,
car karaoke.
Nice one.
That would be awesome. I love karaoke in the car. Yeah. So that would be awesome. That would be dope. I just need to get a unwilling victim. I mean, participant basically to be there.
So, where do you live? I live in California.
Like on my next trip out to America,
Atlanta.
I will
Sorry,
swing by
guys.
and we'll go driving. It's cool. I'm down.
I drove Uber for a couple years, and yeah, there was some dance parties going on from one place to another. Sometimes, yeah,
Hey,
you just go with the flow.
You guys all fly into Atlanta. I'll pick you up at Hartsfield Jackson in a van in a cargo van, and basically, we'll just do it.
I'll
That'll be
bring
so
some
awesome.
lights.
Oh
We'll just-
my god!
in the back of a U-Haul.
A U-Haul.
Wait, where's set the whole back of the U-Haul up?
We'll get lights. Club. We'll get Rob's green lights and make it really happen. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll bring the lights.
Turns. Everybody basically hits the wall. It'll be awesome.
Hey, the lights
like,
can
you have to keep singing even if you're dying. Like
we just have a blow-up mattress
concussion.
in the back. Yeah.
Open the back window. You guys okay back there?
Yeah.
You hit something. We fall forward. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I imagine Brother Dan and I are like start arguing.
Some party going on with the lights, you know, like all sorts of shit.
Look at that. That looks like a rave.
Totally.
We're like,
all right.
We're like, Nakomi, why is the dolly still in the back? Ow.
Hey, Rob, can you put up a if you have epileptic conditions warning with your lights?
We don't want
to Pokemon our audience right now.
Sorry.
Ryan, guys, we have another new best friend. Welcome, Carolina Damodred.
What is up?
Mug flex. Oh, right on the bat. The robot with the mug.
Carrying gang signs?
No.
Carrying gang signs.
Yeah, I will claim nothing to that, but yeah, I'm really cool. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm very cool. I'm what most people would call a dude, a really cool dude.
You're bro.
Yes. I have headphones that, as has been mentioned, kind of matches my outfit. So that's all you need to know about me when it comes to how great I am.
Just damn.
Yep.
Enough said. Mic drop.
That's the mic. I have a mic and I'm not using it. That's how cool I am.
True to form with the Damodred name.
Thank you. Carolina Damodred is literally the most underrated character in the book.
True to form with the Damodred name.
The wall behind you looks like it's you're like a crime scene investigator, and it's just before you put up all the red strings to connect the dots.
That's true. That's actually exactly the truth.
You're like, all right.
How did you know?
What bam. So the killer is
killers.
Oh,
never mind, most of them are me. This is called poor interior design.
No, that's my dog. No.
And in this, it looks like it's the dog, but this is actually a filter. So
what?
Yeah. What can I say?
You know what? They've found a link between like homicidal rage and length of arms. So if you're like watching a show and you can like observe how long the actor's arms are, you're going to basically, through deductive reasoning, find out who the killer is.
So does that mean does that mean you're the least homicidal person ever, Ryan?
No, the most.
Oh,
I thought you had the shortest arms. Or does that make you the ragiest?
Nakomi looks like Michael Phelps over here.
Well, Ryan has to get in real close, so he gives him a hug, and then he just sticks him in the
Okay, so if you
where's the over 18?
Nakomi's reaching for days.
So if you have long arms, you're less ragey.
Yeah, but I'm also really afraid of COVID, so I've not been able to do any damage since the show started. And as I've been following the way of the leaf, I might be just giving over. I might, at this moment, pledge to never again shiv a person I'm hugging.
Wow! Right? Is this 2021? Is this the new Ryan? No shiving?
No shiving. No pickpocketing.
Guys, this is a bigger moment than you guys
realize. Sunday, everybody.
He is so stabby. He is so stabby.
No more having a friend get on his hands and knees and push people over.
Right.
No more wedgies.
See what just happened?
Oh, what killer? What just happened?
Killer is Ryan's alter ego T-Rex. I'm not sure what's happening.
Song time, guys. So part of getting new friends is I write a song.
Oh, wait.
So I need to lay down when I play my instrument.
Yeah, because you're spinal bifida?
Yeah, my spinal
you have like spinal tribifida. All right, so trifida. All right, so
wait. Don't you have to have a spine for that?
Hurry up,
we just had an arm,
God, we have a rude crowd. Everyone, shh. All right, this tavern finally shut up.
Guys, we are getting a banjo song today.
You're like E.F. Hutton, Dana. You just started pick up the banjo and everyone got quiet.
Well,
No, shut up, I said. All right.
All right, can you hear that? Can you hear that?
Oh, yeah, back away from the mic with that bad boy.
All right. I'll turn it this way.
Yep. Better.
She should be more widespread.
Uh-oh.
On our Discord, the poetry channel, it's a good thread. Shouldn't stay unread. When I read what she said, I see my head has been grossly underfed. I dig all things about her from A to Z. Meet our newest best friend, Carolina Damodred. But there's more. There's more.
I think
All right.
Oh, yeah, jamming.
It's really odd. My heart seems to feel bony. My muscles feel just like overcooked rigatoni. It's a hard name to rhyme. But our new guest is for real. Her videos are not phony or baloney. Look at that cool backdrop. It's all orange and purple and stony. Her mind is fire like fresh made minestrone or 3 cheese macaroni. Guys, meet our new best friend. It's CallMeNakomi.
you did it.
Smash.
That was amazing.
All right, I'm sorry.
As in smash the like button? Yes.
Smash the like button.
I'm looking for my lighter. I'm like, where is it?
All right, so I apologize.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't be the first to smoke on air with us if that happened.
No. I kept waiting to hear the chorus. Keep on rocking in free world.
No, I don't do covers. I just do lovers. They're love covers.
Ooh.
I'm out of breath.
Clovers?
Yeah. So thank you for indulging me. Thank you for indulging me, and I do apologize. I'll send you the lyrics.
All right, I'm glaring at all the tavern patrons, and I say, commence.
Commence.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah, we had to be quiet, didn't we? So.
Okay. Finally. You guys want to talk Wheel of Time shit yet? What? How long?
Okay.
Really?
Maybe.
You wanna? So these chapters are pretty badass. I mean, we pretty much meet Selene, who is the favorite or least favorite of lots of people.
I never, if you told me one song she sings,
No
I
worries.
wouldn't
That was
know
awesome. Thank you very
who
much.
she is.
Yeah, she was a tragedy.
I have to say, Twitch is right. It is a hard name to rhyme, but you've put rigatoni, minestrone, purple, and stony. Like, super impressive.
Oh, and don't forget bologna.
And bologna and macaroni and like, wow.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, sorry. I was hungry.
It was a food.
You're hungry.
I think food based. Like,
Did you know kitchen sales just tripled at the bar right now thanks to your song? So
No, guy, brother Dan, Twitch Avery was on death. It was on death's door, and he lived because of your song.
Oh, yay! I saved Twitch.
Jesus,
I live.
Sleep
Thank you,
well
Twitch.
tonight. Sleep well tonight. If
that was
anything I do
impressive.
tonight helps you
Very
live,
impressive.
let me know.
Twitch is a nosy noble
Not
guy.
That's awesome.
You know.
Oh,
All right. So there is a couple things I kind of wanted to pick your guys' brain about a little bit. And I guess the first thing would be this mirror world. Huron is able to kind of sniff stuff out. But it is a completely separate dimension as we know it per se, correct? It was a path that the path less taken. And it made all the difference, wasn't it? They're in Robert Frost land.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Robert, the road less taken.
Okay, but so I guess I'm a little confused per se why Huron is able to still smell stuff. You know, him having a trail to follow still, to me, on the second reread, doesn't quite make sense to me. Does it make sense to you guys? Can you rationalize it?
I think so. Big deal. No,
that's what I want. I want what you think. Give it to me.
Glad. Well, you might not after I say, but no, I mean, I think, you know, the world is called, like, they kind of made a big point a few times of saying it's the if world in a way, like it's if something could or if something did. It only makes sense to me when they get to the point where they say that he's smelling the future, because when he's smelling like what is actually happening, that doesn't make sense to me because he's not in the world where it is actually happening. Mm-hmm. But it does make a little more sense to me if it's about what is happening in the future, because that's so unknown in both worlds, whether it's in the kind of faded world or in the real one. That I could kind of see, because it could be strong enough of a thing in the sense of its possibility instead of like something that's actually there that shouldn't even be in the if world. That's very philosophical and existential, so join me on the path to more success.
And as I am, you know, out of character, I'm a French existentialist.
We love it.
That's what the mustache. Yeah, that's what the mustache really comes in handy for.
I drink ennui for breakfast
and cognac.
That's what's in this cup.
Yes, I subsist on nothing.
My only vice.
But yet, for me, it's absence.
Nakomi, what are your thoughts as far as Huron being able to still do his thing in this world and still having some sort of connection to the trail, the trail that's following Fane? And is actually, could it be that Fane is just so gross that he's just interdimensional in how fucked up he is? Well, Morgan, what do you think?
Okay, so I didn't do my due diligence this time through of actually, no, I don't mean like for this, but I mean for my read through, because I had a limited number of episodes for The Great Hunt. I could have done a fuck ton of them, but I figured I would have another turning of the wheel and I needed to save some. So I have only the vaguest conception of theoretical physics or quantum theory, and so I decided not to try to torture my brain by diving into struggling to understand those types of concepts. So I didn't go watching YouTube videos or doing the types of things to try to figure out what RJ was doing, particularly because he didn't have all the rules like figured out for his parallel worlds, and particularly, this is all spoilers, presumably. This is Tavern talk, right?
Yeah.
Particularly for how all those worlds fit into the whole realm of like Teleron Riyadh, because like I'm into The Dragon Reborn now and drafting out episodes, and one of my struggles with The Dragon Reborn is that so much of it either doesn't make sense as the story progresses, or things happen in it that never happen again. Yep. So I feel like, you know, which is like, you know, I'm not going to make a huge issue out of it. You know, I don't have anything published, but if I were publishing a major series, I'm sure that I would get further along and think, oh, there's so much in the beginning that I could have gone back and fixed. You know, if you're writing a single book, you can take the time to make it perfect. So I don't hate too much about that, but I think that I don't know. I'm wondering if there is some type of actual bit of quantum theory that explains that notion of Fane, or whether he just took like poetic license, using the whole notion of string theory and everything to be kind of like, I'll, you know, take fantasy and go from that. You know, I'm going to take this notion of the mirror world and parallel universes and, you know, use that, and then from that say that it's perfectly possible that he could smell where they were going so that he can at least stay on the correct path, and then that way they'll be able to get ahead of them. And you know, then they're doing that, and that happens because of reasons, and it's just sort of like, and there's no need to explain necessarily how it happens, because there's a lot of stuff where you don't explain everything here because the information is lost. So there's so much lost knowledge, and then what does get explained is just given to you by Lanfear / Selene, and she only gives them a limited amount of information because you can only do so much and not have it be a giant, boring expository dump. So,
but also, like, there's this kind of question, like, can you trust everything she's saying? She's a goddamn, you know, Forsaken with motives. So that unreliable narrator still comes in because it's just a person talking.
Right.
Like,
she's manipulating she's trying to manipulate the whole thing. And I think all those groans come at her beck and call. I don't even know if I guess they're real, but I don't know.
Yeah,
What's
that
going on
too. I've always wondered that too. Like, can she summon them? Is this mirror world somehow more like part of Teleron Riyadh, where she can summon them, or are they there and she has somehow set up a warding around the three guys to protect them, and she just, you know, lets the warding down when she is ready to do her damsel in distress? So I'm kind of going with that one, but I don't know.
I think, I mean, especially in that, because I agree with that in the sense, because when she does the whole thing where she's like, we have to go to the stone to get out of here because that's the only way out, and then there's 5 of them, and then Rand's like, I can handle that, and then he does handle it like really quickly, and she's like, well, shit. But then like 100 more, like 20, and then, you know, she's like, are you going to be 20 of them? And it seems as though she's just been like, well, 5 wasn't enough, 20 more should do it.
Well, and not only that is they are more or less herding them to the stone. They kind of do this horseshoe pattern around them, except for right in front of them, which is up the mountain to the stone.
Oh,
exactly. So it feels very planned, you know.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. The issue, I agree with Dana Liu here. There's not a sign of life here at all. There's no bugs. There's no nothing. They drink the water, and the water is even kind of flat. There's no life here at all. And yet, the only time we see these scary monsters is where they're Selene. I don't think that's a coincidence at all. When you look back, they traveled for days and didn't even they were sweating. There wasn't even a fly or a mosquito or anything. Nothing. So to me, this is a dead land. And when it comes to the world of if and of what can be, Huron is smelling violence all over the place. He comments, he's like, yeah, it seems like this place should be covered in blood. It seems like just minutes ago, there should have been just a violent thing here, but no, not here. And I wonder, because it's such a thin version of reality, the colors are blurred, the everything warps when you don't look at it. It's not a steady set kind of reality, it seems.
It makes me think of that movie Waking Life.
I don't know that one.
It's an animated movie and very, very philosophical. Look it up. Never mind. Go on. If anyone in chat knows what I'm talking about, the movie Waking Life is what I think about where they are right now. Go on.
So the only signs of life we do see are these 2 streaks in the sky. They were too straight to be natural. They seem to me to be contrails or some sort of like jet plane up in the sky. Right. That's what it seems like.
I think that seems very, What do you guys think?
Yeah. So why in this world where there's not even flies do we see something like a jet? Maybe.
So did they enter a world where the government's like spraying them with chemicals?
It's Mouth Ion.
Is there an Area 51 in this world?
Wheel of Time is Westworld, actually. That's what we haven't discussed and what is true. So.
I don't see anything.
I don't know what those were. I feel like For me, it almost felt like it was like some sort of glitch in the actual space they're in. Because like you did say, it's so thin that it almost feels like it's not necessarily like, I know that we've kind of also said that this wasn't that clearly thought out maybe by Robert Jordan at this point. But like it feels like when I first read it, I didn't think of it as being like necessarily like a time that was a possibility, but a time that is like happening with like on top of reality. This is now getting super existential.
Nope. Go with it. Go.
Yeah. Go into the future. But it feels like it's almost like a sketch of their world. Like it's like drawn in pencil instead of in 3D. And so to me, it felt like these little, inconsistencies are more like where the pencil wasn't able to draw in the cloud in a way,
Do you think every world outside of, I guess, the one, the narrative is in Rand, how do we even talk about it now? But like, do you think every other world they ever popped into would be as blurry as that? Is that just an effect of being in this weird, like a future world, or maybe, or like a world that kind of has like the time, issue that the Waze has,
Well,
like
Selene describes it that this is a reality that is so unlikely to happen that it is not really defined and is kind of blurry. That's what she tells Loyal.
So in the Dragon Reborn, when Varen is explaining Tel'aran Riyadh to Egwene, she is drawing parallel lines through dust on a desktop and explaining how, that there are parallel worlds. And Egwene is like, oh, the worlds reached to from the portal stones. And then she's like, and then there are, worlds that go perpendicular that are harder to reach. And then the world of dreams encompasses them all. And, maybe like there are nodes, those intersecting lines, like, and a world like the mirror world is one of those worlds that you would reach where there was an intersecting line, and that might even be sort of like a portal through which Tel'aran Riyadh has some sort of influence in the real world that would allow manipulation, like her being able to call Grom, and which makes it able to, have the kind of like weird warping fast travel that you get in the Ways, or, when you're in Tel'aran Riyadh. I don't know. I totally just like made that up right now, but it was just kind of like,
I'm
because
loving it.
Coincidentally, Scott just asked, is Varen right though?
Who knows?
But no, that's a very interesting concept, because it means like what you're saying, like if it's only a point instead of a line, then you don't have to account for all the inconsistencies in a way, because it's just a moment in time instead of all of time.
Mm-hmm.
So then you kind of do get to walk along the pathway of, okay, maybe it's weird that he's smelling the future or the past or whatever. But because it's only happening in one moment, everything that happens outside of that, oh, now I'm not confusing myself, but now like everything that happens outside of that is not touching where they are, but what they're touching is maybe where everyone else is.
Mm-hmm. I like to think of the metaphysics of this place more like a neural network, much akin to the veins and the neurons connecting like the brain, like the human brain. So I like to think that in this world, there's so many things are possible. We're hearing all of it. It's like the multiverse theory, but there's this way in which, like, through either will or spirit or magic, you're able to kind of make new connections in the neural network. And you can almost imagine it being like, if you are a yogi and you're meditating for 20 hours a day, your brain, if you mapped it out, is going to have different neural connection networks than mine does as a stupid puppet who's drinking wine and talking on the internet. Yes. So I like to think that these advanced kind of like different ages were able to access that neural network differently through either technology or through spirit advancements, or actually through will, whatever. But I do believe that there is a fundamental truth to what Huron's ability says to us, and that there is that interconnectedness of all the worlds, and it's really just and that's a very kind of like a Hindu belief system in that everything is available to us if we just get out of our own way and access it, because we all are capable of being, Godheads. So that's how I kind of think of the metaphysics. And I think when Dan's talking about the smell, I think that Huron just has like an ability that is like mapped into the neural network in a different way, where he is able to perceive the different realities, through his ability. And
well, I've always thought that Huron's ability was a little too, because it's sort of like it shows up in just that book and you never see it again, and it's like convenient for the plot, but it's not super necessary. It is useful in the sense that having Rand separated out provides him with someone who can help him track the horn, because once he's separated out, Ingtar is left with Perrin, who can help him track the horn with the wolves. And Huron is a useful character in the sense that he provides guidance and information to Rand that he would not otherwise have, and basically helps him live through his navigation through Cairhien, or barely manage to survive that interaction, not send it all into like a cascading shit show after he leaves. But I don't know, I feel like there are a lot of things that don't make a ton of sense or don't feel really well thought out in the first 3 books, which is one of the reasons why the 4th book I feel like is a lot of people's favorite, because he really settles into the story. And like some of the things in the first 3 books I've managed to kind of figure out and feel like I've found a satisfactory headcanon for, and the Mirror World is not one of those things.
Yep.
So.
Well, if I can, I'll stay on a parallel thing then. So the rock that Loyal, Huron, and Rand fell asleep to was just a little rock. It was a stump of a rock, pretty much.
When
they awoke,
the Hootie and the Blowfish of rock music.
It was the Kenny G,
just a little rock, and they maybe when they're just rock, kind of like.
I only want to be with you.
They're just a little rock. Yeah, go
on. But in this Mirror World, this was a monument. This was more or less a Sa'angreal, something, right?
I mean, it's an artifact, so the Mirror World does not seem to be affected by weather in any particular way. So the portal stone in our world was affected by enough weather or our world in Randland was affected by enough weather that it was able to be worn down. And
interesting. Okay, because my theory is that it was not worn down, that it was broken.
Possibly that too.
And they didn't realize that it still had the activation power. But I wonder why it came out of disuse. Why people stopped using these things if they were such an awesome Uber.
I don't know. I mean, I've kind of thought about, somebody in the chat has said this as well, just that Lanfear was fucking around or something like that. Which is, I never, until I read it this time, which to be fair is my second read through. Oh, you didn't know this. I'm a wee child.
Oh, yeah.
What a flex.
I am a child.
Tell us how many, not just how many times you read it, Carolina, but how long it took you to read the series. She told me this on my podcast, which comes out next week.
I read it in the month of April. Instead of, I don't know, doing anything else, I read the entire series of The Wheel of Time in 2020 for the first time.
Whoa! In April?
Last year.
You made better use of this downtime than a lot of people I know, Carolina. I'm proud of you. That's really effective use.
I don't know, man.
Good month.
I said this to Rob, but it was one of the best months of my life. I will say though that it might not have been the best use of my time. I could have done I was doing nothing but reading the books. So I was just, and everyone, I said this to Rob as well. Everyone thinks, oh, you read so quickly. But I'm like, no, if you read the books every single day for a month, you also, and for at least 6 hours, sometimes 5, depending on if I got distracted by social media. But still, I'm not I wasted my family was like, what did you do this past month? And I was like, I read 15 books that will not help my career or further my endeavors.
I don't know.
But they did induct you into a wonderful, caring, supportive.
That's true.
You know what it is?
Excellent fandom. So
it's the friends you meet along the way.
Yeah, that's true. Which, maybe if I could have told them that at the time, but at the time I had just finished it and I hadn't met any of you guys, and they were just like, "That was a full month of your life."
All right.
I think
it's great that you saw our show and you started feverishly reading the books to make sure you're
like, oh man,
like, I want to be a guest.
Yeah.
Our show changing lives. Changing lives. One episode at a time.
One viewer at a time. Yeah. I have no idea where this comment started from. I just now know that I've told you a great fun fact about myself.
Keep on coming, please.
I think it's beautiful. So getting back to those go ahead. I'm sorry, Rob.
Dana had a point about the stones. You're saying, why did they stop using them? Obviously, they lost, as Scott said earlier, they lost a lot of knowledge after the breaking. And also, Rand is the only one powerful enough to use them. So that means the Aes Sedai in general can't use them, even if they did remember. So,
I also think that they didn't know where they were because the world was breaking, and they didn't know wherever they might want to travel to would necessarily be anywhere that they would want to go. So it's sort of like, if you know this portal stone is going to take you to this place, but you don't know if this place is in the middle of, a giant upheaval or been buried beneath a mountain or whatever, it's probably not safe to use them. So, and then by the time the breaking has settled down, even if it hasn't been completely lost for generational knowledge of how to use them, where they are may be gone, and then just like where the ones, can take you, it just doesn't seem like it's a reasonable or realistic way to use, to travel at that point.
We do assume, though, that Selene did do the same thing that Rand did to get to that land, correct?
Yeah.
We did see her in the village before. She was, Uno's like, flame, that goat flaming woman, flame me.
Yeah, the creepy cougar has been stalking Rand probably since right as they left Faldara.
Yay!
She's back.
Yay.
God, I missed
Apologies,
you.
guys. Apologies.
No,
we had some
I'm sorry
technical
you had
difficulties.
issues. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. That's all that matters.
I'm glad I'm back. Okay, where are you guys?
We're talking mirror worlds, more or less, and the portal stones.
And portal stones, yeah.
Cool.
Did we see the same type of portal stones in the next book with the flicker scene?
We see them once more in book 4. Rand uses them to transport everybody to Roydian, and other than that, I don't think they get used again.
What is the flicker scene then?
That's in the Great Hunt. That'll be a little bit later. The horn gets stolen back, and they have to go to Tome and Head after it, but Match and Shin is gatekeeping like a dick, and so they have to find another way.
Blocking.
Everywhere you don't want to be. My God.
And I don't have that video loaded. That's really annoying. I was going to be like, play the Gandalf thing. You will not.
You shall not pass.
Never mind.
Well,
that's. Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You go ahead. I'm going to find this chapter.
In terms of Mashing Shin, cock blocking, do you believe that Mashing Shin is somehow able to track Rand through Fane's ability to track Rand?
I don't know that it's a Fane's ability necessarily. It seems to be general canon that it's just that Rand is such a powerful Taviran that at that point, but it may be because Mash and Shin got a taste of Fane at the Waygate at Faldara and was like, oh, you're my friend and also ick. So, spit him back out. That maybe he also got a sense of Fane's tracking ability. And so that's why basically anytime Rand tries to go to a Waygate, Match and Shin is waiting for him. But that seems to be general canon. I don't know if anyone specifically asked RJ that, but
okay.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Do we think that any of the dark creatures used any of these portals at all in the story?
Oh, Lanfear.
No, I mean like Trollocs and Fades and whatnot.
Well, that's the thing about it as well. Like, if Lanfear knew about this, then I imagine that anyone that was from the Age of Legends, which is all of the,
Forsaken.
Forsaken. Thank you. I'm about to say Shadow Spawn, and I was like, not right. It's not the right word.
The groovy friends.
The groovy people that are dark and mean and rude. Those ones.
Teletubbies. The Teletubbies.
The Teletubbies.
Yes.
The Teletubbies have consistently been using these stones forever. I'm just saying, like, if they exactly if Tiki Wiki, Betrayer of Hope, knew about these forever, they could have really done a lot for a long time.
Betrayer of Hope is Tiki Wiki. That's canon.
That's canon. That is RJ truth. But I mean, like, if they knew about this and they could actually use them, which is why I think kind of RJ's able to get him out of a bit of the trouble he's put himself in by creating this portal stone, as Morgan's kind of pointed out. There's a lot of things that don't quite add up, because it kind of becomes a thing where it seems like maybe it's such a confusing way of traveling, or such a difficult way of traveling, that it doesn't become more than that. But because if it's not that, if it is really easy, then it's more safe than doing the ways, because there's no taint on it. There's no
right. There's no evil fog or
just like
wind.
you just feel nauseous, like you're drunk.
Are we doing
and like
right
that's
now?
how I am, anyways.
Yep. Full spoiler.
Okay, well, actually, the portal stones do come in later on, in Towers of Midnight. Or I think basically when they're bringing the Trollocs in to basically trap the White Cloaks.
Yes, there is. Because they're rising up from underground, or it looks like that.
And there was a channeler there to basically, but it is very difficult. That person would have to know how to use the portal stone, basically, for it to be able to
be strong enough to use the portal stone, and know
strong
which
enough
one goes
and
where.
know which one goes where and what time. Yeah, exactly. So
Nakomi, we talked about this. Do you think that the Groms that they encounter are actually there and real?
I kind of feel that they are. In my reread, I saw a part where at the very least, well, unless she was basically putting on this ruse from before, I think that Huron saw her first, and then basically he said that he saw a woman and something else.
Mm-hmm.
So unless from that far off, she basically was put on some kind of mirrors of mist. Basically, I don't specifically have but I figured as much that she probably brought them in, because that would be a lot of programming that she basically would have had to put into that mirror of mist. Basically, like, he hits one in the eye, that one basically another one stops and starts ripping at the body, and then basically continues on to chase after them. It feels like a lot to basically just be mirrors of mist, but maybe she brought them. And
well, we should. In that scene, Rand. So Huron sees the woman and that whatever behind them north, and then the scream happens, and Rand says, Huron's like, I knew I saw a woman, and she's like, well, she must have flown then, because it's way south of here. So she did jump around then with that Grom. If she had a Grom with her, she put it in her pocket and she voodooed over or whatever. In
a world where in a world where time and distance are fucked up, does that not possibly apply to sound? Perhaps the sound like it's coming from the south, but it's actually moving around, not in a straight line.
No, because Rand does gallop south and then found her.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
This is why I think it was Twitch that said it in the comment stream that I'm now considering being the truth is, and of course now just tell me I'm wrong, because I love that. But Selene maybe brought him there in the first place with all of this. Like, it could almost entirely be her own working.
Mm-hmm. I always wondered about that when I first read, but I don't know. I guess after a while, I just conformed to the thought that he did it by accident. But at the same time, how did he focus in on a specific picture or whatever, basically script on the thing to be able to take them wherever he was.
Yep.
Yeah. So maybe she just got lucky that he decided to, he fell into the trap of laying down on the one stone that you shouldn't lay down on in the entire, Wheel of Time, basically.
And she just happened to be sitting there, like, fighting off a groan, being like,
I don't know. Like, she was way too very calm. Staged.
Absolutely. It was staged.
She's so obvious.
I just don't know if she brought her own props. I just don't know if she brought her own props.
She's a producer and a production designer.
My headcanon is that she, like, it brought him, again, she's like, God, how many years old? Like, she brought them there with the incredibly orchestrated thing that is designed to psychologically bolster him in ways and, like, manipulate him in ways that, like, appeal to his insecurities, but also in a way really help him in the end, which is why Lanfear is so complicated. Like, the idea that, like, she brought them there. I think all of it was orchestrated. The Groms, the entire thing is orchestrated to get them to go back to the Portal Stone, and then for him to, like, be the hero, and then for her to be, like, emotionally attached to this group. She manipulated the entire group. I think she was using compulsion the entire time.
Absolutely.
Everybody. On everyone, because there's so much. Like, nothing.
She's so hot. Oh my God, she's so hot.
You want to know my social security number? My social security number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
How many her skin is?
Well, and Huron's like, we're off to get the Horn of Valir, huh? And Rand's all, shut up, dude.
What's wrong with you?
All of it. But that makes, on some level, I think in my first reread, I just thought she just looks like Angelina Jolie. And if I was in her presence when I was young, I would have done anything she wanted. And I do believe that it makes,
you wouldn't know.
But that doesn't make sense for Loyal. Loyal is very cautious in every way. He's always the one saying, Rand, maybe you shouldn't do that, Rand. He's like he's always like a voice of conscience, but all of a sudden he's like, wow, this woman knows more than any human being ever about the history of the fundamental nature's reality. I can't believe this.
And Rand's like, well, how does she know all that? How does she know all that? And he's like, well, the great library of Carnhain, of course. Duh. Of course. Like, all right, Loyal, you're smart. I don't know.
So question though, does compulsion work on Ogier?
That's a good, or just not. She just was like, I compelled him. Doesn't work. I'm gonna acknowledge him. She like, she just acknowledged the shit out of that guy.
Plan B.
You know what? I think women of agency are they do something for me. Okay, Rand, she's remarkable. She knows so much shit. Oh my God.
So, she's read 6 books.
So we know that Lanfear brought them to the Portal Stone because Egwene had a dream that Lanfear was crouched over a sleeping Rand, touched him, and then they vanished.
Beautiful.
But it just occurred to me that maybe because the way that, and you know this from extra like secondary source material, the way that the Shanshan got the Grom and the other animals that they have is that when they got over to Shanshan, they had the armies of the night, which is basically all the factions that were there. The Aes Sedai over there didn't form a tower that was, a monolith for good. They ended up breaking up into factions and fighting for their own power. And so they brought over, using portal stones, animals like the Grom and the flying, the Rockin, and all the other animals that they have. They brought them over from other worlds. And so it just occurred to me that maybe what Lanfear did is that when she decided, okay, I'm going to let him wander in the land for a couple of days, follow that trail, because she's followed them basically from the point that they left Valdara. So she has an idea of what Huron can do, and then he can follow this trail and everything. And then she's like, I'm going to set my little, oh, help me, I'm helpless trap. And appeal to this appeal to this kid's dick and his ego and let him save me.
Well, Rand is badass.
Maybe what she did is she just gatewayed back to the portal stone, teleported some of those Grolman from another world, and then maybe, they have all these different kinds of special weaves and stuff from the Age of Legends. Maybe they have like a calming weave for animals or whatever. And so she used like one of those and was able to, they have like a shepherding weave or whatever, and just led them through a gateway and, kept them out of sight or something. And I'm totally pulling this out of my ass, but it's just and then as far as them hurting them to the gateway, they would have chased them in whichever, or to the portal stone, they would have chased them in whichever direction that they ran. I resent that.
Well, actually,
isn't that what everyone calls her?
That's what I call her. Yeah.
I don't know if it's
that's what you call her.
I don't know if it's in the companion or not, but actually, Selene, you know how Perrin's a wolf brother? She's a Grom sister.
I'm a sister.
Oh, I love that.
Sister.
I love that idea. That is
I was just
she's a bear frog. That's her spirit animal. She's a bear frog.
I was accusing you
a three-eyed bear frog.
A creepy cougar.
No.
No, that was
you're a cool cougar.
Your...
You're a cool cougar. You're fine. So
that's right.
No, Lanfear's the creepy cougar.
Lanfear's the creepy Steve. I use Lanfear to feel better about myself.
So if Rand was really insecure about his math skills, would she had brought him into that world and had him like do some math problems?
And she's stepping as his tutor.
Yeah. Or if he was a good driver, would she like put him in driving situations to make him
parentheses first, then exponents, then multiply, divide, dice. Come on. PEMDAS. Rand is the most badass here. He gets off his horse. He throws fucking 4 arrows into the ground. Thunk. Just sticks him right by his feet, and he's like, all right, flame and void, here we come. Bam, right in the eye. They're like coming. Right in my eye. He is fantastic, and he's just calmly, and then he's like a bowler. He throws his last arrow out and just turns around. He knows that he got the strike. He's like, yeah, that fucker's dead, right? He's dead.
That's the bomb in the background, fire in the background.
yeah.
Like a slow motion Prince of Thieves, Robin Hood Prince of Thieves thing with the arrow spinning.
Right. Yep. Spunk right in my
eye. I'm thinking more Katniss, but yeah.
Yeah. Brother Dan, before my time in prison, I was a pool shark, and like you get in these zones, right, where you're not gonna miss that shot. You're gonna spin that shit. I understand, man. But I mean, he did not have, the gin and tonic powerhouse, that I had going on. The flame and void is.
In prison wasn't. Yeah, didn't you? In prison, didn't you like flame and void at least like once or twice a month?
Not voluntarily.
Yeah, they don't want you to do it, but I think he had some pirate.
Brother Dan, okay, this is too I can't too close. Too.
Oh, there he goes. Ryan does this. He's like a leprechaun. He's like, my gold, and then he leaves.
Well, okay. So one of the things that she's pushing him to channel. She's trying to force him to channel, and she's putting him in this position. So she's sort of like, can you shoot the ball unless you know another way? And he's like, no, I don't know another way. And then she's just sort of like, okay, well, then you need to take us to the portal stone and get us out of here. And so she's putting him in a position where he has to use the one power no matter what. And, because she's just sort of like, you'll deal with it later on when she kind of, needles him into going and snaking the horn back from Pat and Fane. She's just like, you'll deal with it, or afterwards once they have the horn. And she's like, I want to go back to sleep. And he's like, fuck no, we're getting out of here. They're like a mile away. She's like, if they come, you'll deal with them. Basically just constantly trying to push at him to channel. So she's setting up these traps for him.
Do you think she's trying to see what he can do, or
she's throwing him off a pier. She's throwing him off the pier and saying, "You can swim," and he's like, "I don't know, I don't think I can." He's just like, yeah, you can do it. Otherwise, we're all gonna die.
Well, she's
Just
trying
swim.
to make. Yeah, to swim. Yeah, she's
Just
trying to
swim.
make him the person she wants him to be, and basically just kind of like, don't be a wimp and don't be a coward, and use your powers because you have them, and also desire glory because you're supposed to. And he's seriously disappointing her while at the same time intriguing her because he does a whole bunch of badass shit. So it's kind of
then
like
he totally rejects her. At the end, he's just like, nope, my code says I'm going. And she's like, what the fuck?
She's so weird though. She's like, oh, hi, Atlantan. And he's like, why do you keep calling him that? And this kind of thing is why, like, the whole Damodred, where Tame's like, oh, the so-called Aiel, and like using all these weird terms, it's because this is what the Forsaken do. They're like, oh, Atlantan. It's like, oh, how would you know that? That's old tongue shit. You're weird.
I feel like she didn't try at all to hide herself. Like she was hard. She just came out. She's like, "This is who I am. This is who I'm gonna be."
Even hearing smelled violence on her. On top of it, I mean, she stood out like a sore thumb.
Oh, I thought that wasn't her monthly.
Oh gosh.
It just made no sense. It made no sense how much she stood out. And on top of it, she was like trying to push Rand to remain in the void at all times, basically. And so he's basically being stubborn, and she's just like, the madness can't have you so much. She's like the madness can't, something to the lines of the madness can't account for all the stubbornness that you're showing. And I'm just like, how the hell does she even know about the madness? I mean, it's just it's
and the fact that they
or the
can't
power
suss,
rather
the fact that they cannot suss it out. If someone came into my house and be like, hey, and told me my social security number to my face, I would think something's going on.
It said you're always so stubborn, Ryan. And I'm like, who are you? We just met. How do you know I'm always so stubborn?
So do we all agree that she was compelling them through magic somehow?
If she wasn't, then he is just the biggest idiot. I don't
think that she was. I think that she probably has a couple of Terangriel and her like combs and her belt that she has that may like let off like waves of, I'm the hottest thing you've ever seen, since beauty is subjective, but everybody seems
Coco Chanel, Tangriel.
Yeah, something like that. But at the same time, he's naive, he's a virgin, he's like, don't think those things to the point where, because she gives him a massive boner, so he's like, don't get a boner. He's got his tight pants on, and so he's like, you've got to figure he's trying to like, keep his thoughts all hedged in, and you've got to figure that
the blood's going the wrong direction.
Yeah, the Robert Jordan is thinking about, because
keep it all inside.
Yeah,
your penis, right?
and she does the total Kim Basinger move from like 8.5 weeks.
His arms.
Yeah, she's wearing his night shirt later and nothing else. That's like such an 80s sexy move.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, RJ does a really great job of very much being in the head of the characters in the moment. Like I was thinking about this the other day of like, when they go into different places, depending on whose POV you're in, he'll have like the characters look at stuff and observe things based upon their trade. So if you're a parent's head, he looks at things and he's like, what kind of nails are they using or what tools are they? And Rand looks at things and is examining like the food and the position that the fields are in and stuff like that. And Matt
looks at the horses.
Yeah, horses,
like
commerce.
When I walk in a room, I'm looking for pockets with wallets.
You're such a thief.
When I walk into a room, I'm just like, why am I around other people right now?
Yeah, me too.
So I'm sure he's
I look for the cider. So
because like he got a whole bunch of new clothes in Shinar, and he has specifically said, that the pants were tighter than he was used to. So because he thinks of details, he's going to be thinking Rand's wearing super tight pants, and she makes him so nervous, and like his throat's all dry and everything. So he's going to know what it's like to be a teenage boy, and where she's like making him feel lots of things that he's never felt before. And yeah, he's not going to be picking up on anything because he's going to be thinking, oh my God, please don't get a boner. And that's going to Yeah.
But what about Huron? I mean, Huron literally spills the beans. He is like a seasoned motherfucker who walks around smelling violence, knows if someone's been like brutally murdered, can tell you how it went down, and he's lived with that forever. And all of a sudden he's like, "Oh no, we're gonna horn, we're going to horn."
But and he can smell violence on her, but he still basically is just like, yeah. So what else do you want to know about my life? I have 3 kids.
There's got to be something else. Like, there's got to be something else happening there.
Yeah, well, I feel like she was definitely channeling. I don't know exactly if it was compulsion. I feel like it was. That's just my personal thoughts that it was compulsion, basically.
Yeah,
but at the very least.
And I agree with you, Nakomi, based on Rand himself. We hear his thoughts. There's one thought when he first meets her a little bit early on. He pictures her without her clothes on. And then twice later on, he like totally wants to just mac on her right in front of his friends. He's like, God, I want to kiss her so bad. God, I want to kiss her so bad.
Like just all PDI.
Which like,
PDA.
Like I'm not saying
what is PDI? I'm sorry.
And I'm going to stare at Loyal while I'm kissing her.
Public display of
injections.
Injections.
All right, let's go.
So that's where I think that there may have been some sort of compulsion being played, where suddenly he's just like, God damn, I want to kiss her so badly.
No,
I just don't. I want to have more faith in him and in, especially at this point in the books, because Rand for me didn't become horrible to be around until like maybe like 8th book. But like at this point, I still like him as a person, so I kind of just want to believe thoroughly that like there's something else going on, especially with him and Hero and Loyal. Like it's got to be something else, otherwise, because like I have more faith in the male species. I'm gonna be honest with you.
They're just all
sweet Carolina smoke.
There you go. You had that lined up. You knew. Good.
Caroline, that's amazing take, and I thank you for defending.
I don't know why I did.
Hims and he's.
But you are better than that, and a little like she's so obvious. Like if she wasn't like if it wasn't like a more subtle, she is randomly more subtle in later books, which is confusing. But like in this first time we meet her, I'm like, that's the lady they mentioned in that poem in that weird Trolloc script. I was like, that's the lady. That's got to be her. Like immediately reading it, I knew it was Lanfear, like without a doubt. And though I don't expect Rand to know she's Lanfear, I do expect her to. Oh well, okay. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. No, you're a good reader. I'm not. I didn't pick up on that necessarily. I knew she was dodgy. I didn't know. Oh, that's the woman from that weird Trolloc poem.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, even if you, but that's exactly my point with Rand. Like, even if he doesn't know about Lanfear, really, the whole kind of mythology behind her, anyways, because he's from the Two Rivers, and his information is going to be quite skewed and probably incorrect, anyways. But like, he's been around like Aes Sedai, that he's like hated on instinct. He's been around like just anyone and been like, this person sucks, that person sucks, but then this lady, he's just like,
fuck you, yeah, you're cool.
Fuck you. And then he's like, she hot. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna go wherever she goes. Like, I'm out of
here. Great minds think alike.
Must be
compulsion. Fuck you, I'm out.
It must be compulsion, but at the same time, Rand definitely was resisting it. I think his strong personality basically allowed him to resist it, and it made her very frustrated. And but at the same time, I feel like some of it leaked through before he knew. But then basically, everything that she was trying to push him towards was completely opposite of what his his aim was. So
I think we should also. I think we should also comment that Rand gets angry at her several times in these chapters. He snaps at her, and
she's all.
She's like, "Oh, you're such a man," or what? I don't know, some stupid thing. But this might be him reacting to this compulsion type thing and saying, "Fuck you, no." And getting overly so. He seems kind of a jerk to her quite a few times.
That's that Two Rivers stubbornness, bro.
Well, another idea.
Inner sin.
Another thing to think about is whether or not being in the mirror world has any kind of effects on the compulsion. Because I remember Perrin kind of deflected her compulsion a bit, basically when he was in the dream. at the end there. Do you remember in the cave at the end? Yeah. So I'm just saying, just maybe different areas of reality maybe also can affect whether or not the compulsion basically has effect on him.
Also don't think she's particularly talented at compulsion. I think Moghedian and Grendel specifically are very, very good at compulsion, and I just don't think that Lanfear is very good at it.
That's so funny. Yeah, like you would imagine she would just like kind of lay over him and like put thoughts in his head and be like, all of a sudden he'd wake up and be like, oh my God, I fucking love whatever.
She also wants him to want her for realsies. She's the kind of person who...
That's why she's complicated.
Yeah.
She's really, my life would be best if I could just be on your arm. Great man.
It's such an orchestrated whole event that she had pre-plan. Everyone places, Gromes in your Gromes.
She wants him to be on her arm. She doesn't want to be his arm candy. She wants him to be her arm candy. She's like, you need to be great, but not as great as I am. You know, you need to.
Maybe later, but in these chapters, she's like, oh God, the guy who blows the horn. Oh my God, I just got a little moist just thinking about it. Oh my God.
This is a penis, right?
Brother Dan,
Leslie, no.
As you get moist, let's say hi to our new friend and what the adaptation it is.
Nice! I love your names. That's a hard name to say.
That sounds like one of those translations of like a weird like Korean boba.
What
like,
the adaptation it is.
It'd be like, fun is great here.
Use hazard.
Flavors of happiness here. Love it.
Ryan, do you want to take a little break right now? My puppet fucking hand could use a tiny break. And we'll come back.
That means start getting tired.
I still want to talk about Nynaeve and the Amarillo. That whole dynamic, I want to talk about that too. So and we'll still talk about Selene. We'll talk about whatever the fuck you want. But let's go ahead and take like a quick little break. Are you guys still down to hang out with us?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I've got me whiskey. I'm good. So,
Rob, before we go, can you just give us an update on what your podcast has been up to lately? I want to give you a little plug.
YouTube channel.
And
okay. Yes. Well, all right. So
way to spring on him, brother Dad.
Hey, no, he's good. He's a pro, man.
Cute.
Well, actually, it's going to be a busy week for me. So I split, because it was a long recording. I split my first time reader episode from Friday into Friday and tomorrow. So that will be dropping in like 5 hours or something ish. And then on Wednesday morning, I'm recording a bonus episode with Geeky Eerie, where we're making some predictions around the whole. He's there, by the way.
Right.
He's napping.
he's dormant.
Yeah, so we're making some show predictions around the whole something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue thing. And and then on Friday, I have Carolina's episode coming out. Carolina came and joined me. Yeah. We talked about who is coincidentally we talked about who Nakomi, or who we think she might have been earlier in the season, Norla. So and a bit of Cadswain discussion. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And then you think there's a connection between Cadswain and Nakomi?
Well, no, that Cadswain was taught a lesson by Nakomi. You'll get into it.
It'll make no sense. It'll make no sense and more sense.
I'm intrigued.
Yes. So those are the few things. I've got other things for the YouTube and other stuff, but yeah. So that's all. Like this week is a busy week for me. So
wow. Rob, I love seeing overachievers. I'm sweating just watching you work.
I don't know if it's overachieving. It's more or just overbooking myself.
I love it. No, I love it, man. And you hang out with us each and every show. Yeah, I appreciate you. I'm going to give you a big kiss.
Oh, that was too much tongue. Too much tongue.
It's a heart, though.
Okay,
all right, so let's go ahead and take a break right now, Ryan, if that's cool with you.
All right, let's everyone mute your mics, and we're going to be playing my brother's old band, Varth.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay, cool.
This is going to be a video. Share screen. Here we go. Boom. Oh, shit. Here we go. Share screen. And yeah, mute your mics, and we'll be back in 10 minutes, guys. Yep. And
all we're seeing is Discord currently.
What?
Yep, so we're seeing is Discord.
Well, we're just seeing Discord. Share your different screen.
Yep, sharing a different screen. Stopping that mother effer. Then I'm going to start this mother effer. This shouldn't be so hard.
That's okay, Ryan. You're doing this on the fly. You do it so flawlessly that there we go. Sound.
I'm looking for that too. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, and...
Where's the yardstick? It's just your 5.
Woo!
Good. Thank you, one and all, for
Yay.
rocking.
Love Ryan with his short arms going
Jesus,
nuts.
motherfucking! Why are we focusing on this? Just
Embrace it. Embrace it.
Yeah,
Embrace
look at
it.
Carolina's touching the top of her head, showing off.
I
Everyone,
changed shirts. I told you.
New
that I
color
would
palette.
Change outfits.
a new color palette. Do
The
you have
orange just happens to still go with it.
Stunning.
You're like Cher, changing like every encore.
We seriously
Yes,
encourage.
I am.
Or Cher? How old am I? Jesus Christ! You're like you're like Myrtle Gertrude in the 40s when she would do her. Yeah, it's so.
That's better.
That's
I'm
better.
So,
Yeah.
I'm so dumb.
Myrtle Gertrude.
Gertrude. Long line of Gertrudes.
I am Myrtle Gertrude.
All right. So, do you have a drink that matches your colors palette?
Oh.
Well, my book kind of goes with it, but it's not totally. I have another.
Throw the
book.
food coloring in the sliders.
The book I have that might go with it is not. It's my friend's book. It might have a better.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
All right. I'm going to tell all the tavern patrons, everyone, thank you guys for being quiet. Carry on.
All right,
have
you
them
guys
at
can
the-
talk now.
No, I've compulsed the entire tavern.
Guys, there's two parts to being a new best friend, and I'm sorry to put you all on the spot, but there is a quick 5 questions that we ask. We did, Morgan's already gone through this, and Morgan, you're muted, just so you know. But we have already gone, no, we've already,
Zero
she's
fucks
already
given.
answered these. We have 5 quick questions. I'm going to ask you guys 5 quick questions. They're kind of Wheel of Time related. Yeah, a couple of them are super Wheel of Time related.
Sorry.
Sorry, that almost felt like it was going to be a moment, but you know.
Top of the morning, Lesby. 'Tis good to see you, lass. All right, so you're just in time, Lesby, to get to help meet our new best friend. So I will switch off who answers first. There's just basic little questions to get you know you a little bit better. And I think it's fun, and it's our show. So this is what we do. Ha 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 ha. All right. Are you ready, my friends?
Yes.
CallMeNakomi, have you ever seen a proper palace?
A proper palace. Well, the closest I got to an actual palace was in England. I was in a double-decker bus and drove past Buckingham.
Okay.
Actually, no, I stopped outside of Buckingham and they did the changing of the guards. But
that's fun.
A really fun vacation that I went on. I went to the Biltmore Estates, where we basically roamed around a damn palace. Biltmore is a palace.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Carolina, have you seen a proper palace in your life?
I live in London, so I have a very similar. I've been to Buckingham Palace. I also love the Biltmore, though. That was. I love that place. I've been there like every Christmas because they've got like
Beautiful
nice
Christmas. Yeah.
Versailles as well. I don't know. I've been to a few places.
Those
in Europe.
count.
It's really
Those
easy
count.
when you live in London.
Yeah. You throw a rock and you hit a palace, right?
Yeah.
And then you get arrested for
Kinda.
throwing rocks at palaces.
Does White Castle count?
Exactly. White Castle definitely.
When I
counts.
want a hamburger, I go to
White Castle.
White Castle.
Hold it now.
White Castle.
Oh, look at that. Zach comes in with the.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Carolina, you go first this time. Have you ever eaten anything in your life that you would consider to be a honey cake?
I literally made a biscuit the other day and put honey and butter on it, and I thought to myself, "This is a honey cake."
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, whoa! You didn't tell me.
Well,
dun dun
it
dun.
It was a private moment between me, myself, and I.
Oh, there it
goes. He left because of this.
I will.
In such a way.
I will grant this to you on a peripheral level. However, honey cakes, you walk into a kitchen, you're supposed to go, "Oh, damn, that's honey cakes. Honey cakes."
Yeah.
So I will say that you had honey ornaments.
Honey ornaments.
Honey earrings and necklaces upon your biscuit, but I don't know if it's a honey cake.
Okay, well, I mean, I expect Rob to make me one in some
Why is Rob bouncing? Rob is
because he's so sad that I didn't tell him about my biscuit adventure.
Yeah, that you made a biscuit. Does he have like some sort of like pastry
look at
over your life right now?
Do you know Bisquick? Bisquick is an American staple, and they have it in some Sainsbury's in America. In London. And my friend got it for me, knowing that I have a thing about making pancakes from Bisquick mix. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to make some biscuits as well. Yeah, I do.
How long have you lived in London?
Oh, 2 years, a bit more than 2 years now.
So that's why you don't sound like Rob?
She spent most of it in lockdown as well. So.
Oh my God, I would sound like such a leprechaun if I spent 2 years in the UK. I'd be like, hey mate, hey, you want to fucking go? Hey,
you sound more train spotting than leprechaun. You sound like a heroin fucking addict.
Any heroin? Yeah, that would be. Yay, mate.
Leprechauns in Ireland, first and foremost. Don't be confused by
hell
Rob's green background.
Top of the morning, heroin. All right.
But no.
CallMeNakomi, have you ever eaten anything that you would call a honey cake?
Yes. Cinnabons.
Oh, okay.
Yes, in the mall or at the airport, Cinnabons. They're ridiculously sweet. They have it makes no sense how much sugar and fructose is inside that thing, basically, but it just melts and falls apart on itself. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, I do agree. The Cinnabons are delicious. You think that's what Mistress Almira is making in the Wine Spring Inn when you walk in and go, Cinnabons. No, you're smelling honey cake. Honey cake is different. They're both equally good.
Brother Dan, when did 5 questions turn into this?
I know.
Yeah, I literally told you I had a biscuit with honey and butter on it, and you were like, that does not count.
Fuck that.
Next week, I am going to make honey cakes.
All right, I'll stop.
I'll stop the show.
I will stop gatekeeping. You are right. All right. I got 3 more questions. Do you want them?
No, I don't. But yeah.
No, come on.
I want to get to the bottom of this. Is what I want to do. But fine.
Let's get to the bottom of that cider.
CallMeNakomi.
Well, I never will.
Shoot.
CallMeNakomi, have you ever seen a real thatched roof?
Well, I guess you could kind of say that. My family's from Jamaica, so you kind of see palm trees covering, but most of those are just like the fake ones. Basically, most Caribbean homes have tin or zinc roofs.
Right.
And
they last a little longer than grass, right?
Exactly. Until a hurricane passes by, basically, thatch wouldn't last too long in the Caribbean.
No, I mean, there's a story about a big bad wolf blowing down a house of straw. I mean, isn't that just a thatch house? All right, I digress. I'm sorry.
Are we on Thatchgate now instead of Honeycake Gate?
Carolina, have you ever seen a thatch?
A lot of gates in here. Yeah, I think so. Because I did a kind of road trip over the southern part of Ireland, and there's quite a few thatched roofs in there.
Oh, okay. Okay, awesome.
It didn't go out of my way, but I just think there's quite a few.
Mm-hmm. I was supposed to, on a side note, I was supposed to be in Ireland last summer, and then the world got sick. So
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, especially in the summertime.
And then the plague.
I was going for like 17 days or some shit like that. Yeah. All right, Carolina, to you, do you have any circus skills? And my description of circus skills is very open and liberal.
Is it?
Yes.
For example,
liberal as in
like,
woke.
Like you do a Rubik's Cube kind of fast, you're in.
What?
What?
Different ones. You say Rubik's Cube every time.
Well, that's the basic one. All right. Okay.
I'm challenging you to give us a new circus skill that's pertinent.
If you count cars while sitting at a stoplight, then you are in.
There you go. Yes.
Can you ride a unicycle? There we go.
Okay.
Can you find the stud in the walls?
I want to point out first that I've never been to a circus where somebody solved a Rubik's Cube as the main gag. That's never been that's never really been the thing. There's elephants and shit. There's never Rubik's Cubes.
I'm telling you, talent is as talent does. I'm just looking for talent. Give me something.
Okay. This is something I don't know if it would count, but do you know what the worm, the dance move
yes!
of the worm is?
I
can do it incredibly well.
Okay.
And it's embarrassing that I can do it as well as I do being 24 years old.
Frontwards and backwards?
No, just backwards. I can't do frontwards. Well, I might be able to do frontwards, but I've never tried. And I learned it when I was 8, and I never lost that skill. So
my goodness, we need video proof.
Well,
I like Carolina Damodred too. Electric.
I mean, have you recorded it?
I hope it's never been recorded. I mean, it's one of those things that I do at inopportune moments only. Like, I only do it when you shouldn't do it. Like, it's always weird.
Like live on YouTube.
Like a wedding.
The dance floor is empty because that's the only time you can do it.
And everyone backs up. They're like,
that's when you shouldn't do it.
Yeah. And you get up and say, nailed it. And walk off.
I do. I get up and say, nailed it, and know to myself that I'm going to have bruises in the weirdest places for the next week. And then
there's this weird trail of sequins from the prom.
Yeah. All right. So did you learn the worm because you thought at some point in your life you might just run away and join the circus?
Almost definitely. I mean, the issue was that I was 7 and I just saw the infinite possibilities behind being able to do the worm. And those possibilities haven't come to light yet. But
I'm imagining Carolina, like, when she had to do an oral report at school, she just wormed her way up to the front of this class.
Yeah.
Carolina, I was a worm kid, too. I was a worm kid.
I could worm like a mother effer.
Ryan could worm really well.
Conversation. It creates a conversation. Whether you want that conversation or not, doesn't really matter. You do it anyways.
I think the backspin is why Dan can't play guitar without lying down.
Yeah, because I break danced
and broke everything.
I break danced.
And dance things.
I did break.
I broke dance.
We had some linoleum. We had some linoleum that we would bring over to our friend's house. And put it down on his carpet. Yeah. Anyways.
Have you ever been to a friend's house to eat?
All right, Nakomi,
and the food just ain't no good?
Never mind. Go on.
And the CallMeNakomi salad and the chicken tastes like wood?
And more tastes like wood?
CallMeNakomi, do you have any special skills that you would classify for a circus?
That you want to publicly?
The only, and I wouldn't even call it a special skill. I'd probably be either 2 things. I'd either be a clown, just basically, drinking in the back and basically coming out front and slapping people in the face with pig bladders, or basically coming out, or I'd be like a freak and basically just like. I don't know if I could get that into my finger kind of jams in the wrong direction.
This is what we're looking for. We're looking for this.
Oh my God.
We're going viral.
Tell your fingers.
Well done.
Double-jointed fingers. I can do that too.
My finger back years ago.
Rob!
And it just stays in the wrong direction sometimes. Yeah, it's weird. But I'd be one of the freaks. I'd be a sideshow.
So we all must ask, is that affecting your finger blasting?
well, there it is.
It gets stuck. It gets jammed every once in a while. It's jammed every
Can you find the G spot faster with that thing?
Ryan.
What?
Let's.
Welcome,
guest.
She's
Welcome
neither
to
confirming
Ryan.
nor
guys.
denying that.
Felicia, releasing.
Is that a fart at the end? What was that? He kind of went. All right, one more question, guys. All right, you walk into a bar, right?
Wait.
Yeah. Okay. You say, bartender, give me a big tall cider. Thank you. And you see at 3 separate tables, 3 very drunk individuals who are just looking to spill their guts about anything and everything about their lives and anything you have to ask. One of those people is Lan, a man dragon. One of them is Tamil. And one of them is Asmodean. You can only spend an hour and you can't table hop. But they would, and they're not going to be grumpy. Lan's not going to be all, "Rrr." No, he's vivacious and bubbly and will share. Hey, sheepherder. Hey, nice sword. Have a seat. I'm going to buy you a shot and we're going to talk. Yeah. That sort of shit.
Okay.
Who would you? I'll start with you, Nakomi. Who would you? Whose table would you sit at?
I'd sit with Lan. I have so many questions. I want him to get nice and drunk and juicy as a fiddler, and basically just like, I want to hear the early days of him and Moraine on the road. Like, how many times did you wake up in the tent and see her naked? Did she never basically, does she go to sleep with her blue dress on?
Does she leave the lights on? Is the question.
Does she leave the lights on? Does the curtains match the drapes? There's so many questions. He would seem like a bro. Like when he basically gets when he really gets drunk, and he's just like, "You're not paying, I'm paying." Sheepherder, right. Sit down. Bartender, and he flips 3 gold coins basically, and he buys. I'd hang out with Lan.
That's amazing. Well, I thought your first question would just be like, Lan, bro, why not Neve?
Right. Yeah.
I get it.
I would marry Nynaeve in a minute, in 30 seconds.
Well, but we all know you like to be beaten with sticks.
Yeah. I do. How did you know that?
Someone who just beats kids with
that's just like
old people with sticks. Sure.
That's a square hole, square peg right there.
That's true. Squares are my favorite shape.
Well, we did that. There is canon within our show, Nakomi, that Lan when he's 9 to 5, he's all biz. But when he gets off,
off.
So Moraine was healing Tamil Thor, and Lan is just like, "Hey, bro, nice sword. Where'd you get that?" Yeah, he became like the cool boss. That's like kind of a jerk, but just like, "Hey, rookie, we're going to getting drinks after," and like is good at pool, and you're like, "Whoa, this guy." Whoa.
Lan reminds me of Agent K from Men in Black. He has 1,000,005 nicknames for Rand, basically.
Oh, that's
Sheepherder.
That might be my favorite comparison.
Wow! God, I just see him. I see him as Agent K, basically. Yeah, I don't know. That's just how I see Lan. So
what music would Lan put on the?
Good
and
question.
I'll get to Carolina. I'll get to you in a second.
Good question.
Lan has $1. He walks over to the jukebox.
Dude, this is great.
What does he choose?
What's the name of that song? Ring of Fire, maybe.
Johnny Cash.
Simon and Garfunkel's "Sound of Silence."
That's a good
Simon
one.
and Garfunkel's "Sound of Silence" by Disturbed remix. That is Lan's
they made
song.
a cover of that.
I'm
Have
disturbed.
you seen it? It is disturbing to say the least.
Oh my god, I gotta see that.
It's like, do you know what Disturbed is? Do you know the band Disturbed?
Yeah.
Okay,
I love
well,
Simon and Garfunkel. I've got to see.
Yeah, I mean, it is the most
sound of silence.
So you have seen it.
I don't know. Is that what it sounded like?
Oh, it's so deep.
Oh,
his voice is so deep.
Good. I'm so good, guys.
It's so sad, but you're also like, this is me in 8th grade.
Amanda Sawan. Hey, what's up?
Hi, Amanda Sawan.
New friend or maybe an old friend who's just come
I
back
like
recently?
your icon.
Hey, Brother Dan,
Matt,
you have
baby.
a wife.
I like the icon.
You have a wife, Brother Dan. You can't.
It was
Matt.
Matt. It was Matt. Oh, hey, nice set of icons there.
You can't be like saying
a nice set of icons
nice
on
icon.
Auga, my eyes went blow.
Auga.
My heart started pounding through my chest. I gotta get that checked.
You two have an awooga moment and have your awooga moment.
All right, everyone in chat, please let us know what song you think Tam or Lan would put on the jukebox when he's sitting down getting ready to tell you his life story.
Yes. All right. So, Carolina, same question to you. There are 3 tables with 3 drunk characters from the Wheel of Time. One is Lan, one is Tam Althor, and one is Asmodean, the Forgotten Forsaken.
The Forgotten Forsaken. I think of him as being like the weed smoking fun guy. I don't know. I just think of Asmodean as being in a good time. But
so he's weed smoking and mushrooms. Fun.
Everything you can think of. No crack, but everything else. I mean, I think he's just chill about it. But I wouldn't choose him because I think you could kind of get anything out of him anytime. Like, I think Nakomi made the right choice by choosing Lan because Lan is the one that you'd have to have him on that certain type of alcohol and certain amount of water that he would be like prime to actually enjoy. Otherwise, he's just going to be Lan, which I love Lan, but
nice.
Nobody's going drinking with Lan. I mean, come on.
Nah, it has to be post last battle Lan where he has
post last battle Lan. Yeah, it's rap party Lan. It's rap party Lan. That's exactly it.
He's like naive.
He's like, not even. I sheathed it. I sheathed the sword. It was right in my body. I'm still here though.
It felt great.
My first toy as a baby was a sword.
That's exactly. That's the Lan. That's the Lan we want to see. That's not the Lan we get in the books. I think Tam would be the one I go with because Tam, though I think is similar to Lan in the sense it would be hard to get him to the place that you're like, having a good night, but it wouldn't be as hard. And once you start talking to Tam about his life, there's so much canon-wise, I just want to know. So I can really get in there, and I'm very good at manipulating people when it comes to conversation, where they think, okay, it's going this way, but I'm like, but I just asked you 7 questions. You don't realize I just asked you.
Everyone in voice chat, later on, understand that Carolina might be manipulating you in voice chat.
I'm just like, I am a pure dark friend at this point.
Your Jedi tricks
I'm the worst.
On me.
I don't know I'm just the worst. But with Tam, it would be that sort of thing where I'd be like, okay, you did this, and this, but like, why Carrie? And then he'd get like all emotional about Carrie, but I'd really figure out why he picked up a kid on Dragon Mount. But he'd be thinking it's about Carrie, but I'd be like, you picked up a kid on a mountaintop.
I think that's why I kind of think I'd she's a Sith. I think that's kind of why I would avoid Tam, because he would basically just get so drawn into his emotions. He'd be that crying drunk. My son.
Guys,
I miss him. And
so you guys kind of dismissed Asmodean. Asmodean can tell you what it's like. What's it? So what's the Dark One like?
But like, I'm gonna do that to him anyways. Like that's like if I can do that with him any day.
What was the boar like? Yeah, I mean all this stuff. He could tell you a lot, right?
I just don't feel like I could trust anything that Asmodean says anyway, though. I feel like he'd be that guy in the bar who inflates every single little thing. Oh yeah, Versailles. I was in Versailles.
Have you ever seen a thatched roof? Boy, when I was younger, I used to thatch roof myself for a living.
I invented thatch
Have
roof.
you ever had a honey cake? I invented honey cakes.
Exactly.
Did you have any circus tricks? Well, let me tell you, before me, it was just the Russ.
Modian is too much of an attention hoe. Like, he's gonna come out here and tell you everything anyways. So it's like, I don't need to work for that. And land, you got to work for that shit. Like, you got to do a lot of work to get with everything.
There we go. Rob, have you ever answered that question for us?
I'm sure I have. I'm pretty sure you've asked me the question.
Okay. I didn't want you to feel left out, buddy.
Yeah, no, because I tried to
You're
juggle.
doing a good job.
Yeah, I tried to juggle random things, didn't I? And dropped them. Yeah. So you have asked me the question.
Guys, you made it. You're now truly our new best friends. You passed. You did. I wrote you a song and you answered 5 quick questions. Good job.
Don't have to keep out the show again.
Thank God.
Thank you for that song. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I had technical difficulties earlier, but I would have definitely, showed my gratitude earlier. But I appreciate it.
Oh,
beautiful.
You were. You're beautiful for being here, Ryan. Give me
Brother Dan.
All right, you guys are beautiful for being here. I appreciate you each, and I love each and every one of our guests. It makes me humble and proud at the same time to have people of your caliber and personality and sweet disposition hanging out with us and making a show with us.
That's pure bullshit, that last part.
No, fuck you, I mean it.
Fuck you, I mean it.
You mean it on Nakomi, but
breaking news. Yeah.
All right, we are going to guys, real quickly, guys. Guys. We're going to transition to our new segment we've been doing, which is we're going to introduce our friend Floaty. This is a segment called The Way of the Float, or Time to Float. It is a first-time reader who is following along with us as we do our first-time reader show on Thursdays. We give him about 10 to 15 minutes to come in there, tell us his notes, chit-chat with us, and it's time for us to bring in
feel free to interact, engage. Let's talk to our friend here, buddy. Bring him in. Guys, I don't mean to brag. I don't like to gloat, but make your hands make noise for our friend. It's time for the Way of the Float.
Oh yeah. How you doing, Floaty?
Wait, hold on.
Good. Oh shoot! What is he reading? Hey, buddy.
Hey.
So nonchalant, so smooth.
Happy Sunday to you, lad.
Yo.
I know that you have 1 or 2 thoughts about these chapters.
Or 4 or 5.
A few, actually.
You have
Can you tell me exactly how many you have? How many thoughts do you have on these chapters?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, we are in our first time reader show. We are on the Great Hunt chapters 16 through 18. So our friend Floaty is following along with us. He has his own blog where he posts his thoughts on the chapters. It's amazing. He's a first time reader. I hope everyone in chat goes to his Twitter channel. Twitter page. Yeah, follow this mother effer on Twitter.
And guys, and during this, while Floaty's on screen, can we just we're gonna hold back on spoilers up into the chapters that we're talking about.
Oh, good point. Thank you, Mom.
What is Floaty's Twitter? What is Floaty's Twitter?
17 pages of notes.
Hit us. Go for it.
All right.
So, from chapter 16. After I reread it, I was like, "Oh, I believe the raven and the statue itself foreshadowed Selene's arrival, and also she may be related to Arthur Hawkwing, perhaps. I don't know.
Related, like as in like
somehow
related to Arthur Hawkwing, or she knows Arthur Hawkwing.
Related.
That's
okay.
Ooh.
Snap.
I like that. So, would she be older or younger?
Older.
Oh, okay.
No, younger.
Younger. Okay.
Sounded weird.
Okay.
Yeah, time's crazy.
Timey-wimey.
And then another thing I want to point out, the groans were creepy AF.
Creepy AF.
The Groms?
Oh yeah.
So what would you describe? Give me what would you call a Grom? What pet name? If you had a pet Grom, what would you call it?
Gollum.
Gollum the Grom.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
I met them, so why not?
Nice. Which eye do you think works the best, or do you think they all just work equally?
None of them.
No, he has 3 eyes. You don't think any of them work?
Maybe 1 or 2. The other one is just there.
Oh,
okay. It's like just ornament.
It's fake.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, nice.
So many like levels of
tattoo.
going on here.
Okay, so
guys, Floaty is giving us existential truths about life. Jesus effort.
And then I have a prediction from 16.
Okay.
I think Selene is behind the creature showing up, which I doubt Rand thinks is a possibility since he likes her.
Okay.
Floaty, we were actually talking about this earlier in the episode. That's a very astute point.
So you think she brought them in?
Well, of course.
Do you think they are real?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Yes.
Could they, if Rand didn't shoot them in the eye, would they have killed Rand and Loyal and Perrin? Oh, I'm Huron.
You missed Selene. What about her?
Elaine?
Selene?
Selene.
Yeah.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. Would they have eaten Selene as well?
Oh yeah. Well, no. Actually, no, they wouldn't have.
Hey, Floaty, look at this comment. Amanda's saying she's loving your speculation. Thank you, Amanda.
She's got a cool icon.
And then you want me to go to chapter 17 now?
Yeah, did you have anything else to say about? So they what about those lines that were in the sky?
Oh, those. I was like, okay. I was like, you know what the hell? I don't know what's going on.
Have you ever seen those in your lifetime?
If you count those little skyline thingies, the airplanes leave in the sky.
Right, that's what it sounded like to me.
But I was just like, how is it possible since there's no people here but Rand's group?
There's not even no people. There's no bugs.
So Floaty, what do you think? Tell me, what do you think? Put it all together like a puzzle. What do you think?
So, I am assuming Selene had a part in that too.
Elaine, okay.
Selene,
okay. Selene, yeah, okay. Go on, yep.
So she made those lines, maybe?
Perhaps.
Okay.
Do you think she brought them there?
No.
Okay. Do you think this is the first time we've seen her, or do you think we've seen her earlier in the books?
Okay. So when I was thinking about it, when I was thinking about this, when y'all were with Todd, that like, I'm now, instead of that ghost being Rand's mom, I'm very certain that was Selene they were saying.
Oh, the flaming woman over the flaming hill,
Right,
over the flaming.
Gave it away after we met her.
Goat milking.
Beautiful.
All right.
Staring at him this whole time, like, I like you, but I don't want to talk to you because I don't know who the hell you are. She still doesn't know who he is.
Right. So we get into chapter 17. It's pretty much a continuation right then, right?
Yo.
There's more Grom. Rand is a badass. Rand is Robin Hood times a million.
Yo.
He shoots him in the eyeballs. From he's shooting across football fields, right in the eyeballs. So this thing's moving.
Exactly.
Stud.
He's a ninja.
Okay, so
Talk to us, Float.
I had a question.
I have answers.
So when it talks about that between the fainter reflections and the stronger ones, I was so confused with that. When Selene
I'm sorry, say again, the fainter and stronger what again?
Reflections.
Oh, okay. So when she talked to Loyal?
Yes, and then she classified this one as faint. Correct?
Right. So do you think she's has experience with these?
Who are you referring to?
Selene.
Yes.
Because she says that she read it in a book.
Yo.
Do you believe her?
At this point, I did. Not anymore.
Right on. So Rand gets him back.
Yes.
Well, Rand gets him back. He was unwilling to do it, but he did it. He did it, and she was pretty impressed. She was pretty impressed. So tell us your notes here and give us your prediction.
Okay, so I had a prediction which says I'm predicting Rand's group will go and get help before Fane shows up, so they could perhaps ambush him to get the dagger and the horn back, perhaps from the White Tower, or Egwene and Naive's group may get help from the White Tower to aid them. I was like, no, that was completely not right. We learned that in chapter 19.
Correct. They did have to do it on their own. But I like that because Varen shows up out of the blue.
Yes.
So why not more of the White Tower, right?
Right.
Yeah, actually, it's a really... I like it. God damn it, Floaty. I like that.
Floaty's an amazing reader. He's very detailed. He really sees the small details and makes great speculations upon them.
Ooh, we got a question from the chat here.
We got a question for you, Floaty. Amanda Sowan. I'm sure I'm saying
it. From what I've read so far, my favorite scene would either have to be when they got the horn back, or when Rand went and found the orb of Sidene, and he's like, what the fuck is happening? I don't know what it's doing, but it's doing something.
Nice. So these are even chapters that we haven't even gotten to yet in our reread, but we're aware of it. This is a spoiler thing. And so Floaty's like 5 chapters ahead of us, I think.
I just finished 20, actually.
All right, so yeah, you're 2 chapters ahead of us.
Hey, we're doing great. Floaty, Sarah Curly Whirly says, I am loving this. You're doing great, my friend.
I'm loving this.
And then going with Egwene's having the same dream again with Balsamon.
Yep.
Yeah. She's had like 3 or 4 of them.
Ironic that everybody knows who he is, but they don't, or she doesn't in particular.
So Balsamon does talk to Rand and mention someone, a girl who's guarding him.
Do you remember that, Floaty?
And he's like, Moraine's not a girl. That's weird.
Is Min a girl?
Yeah.
Egwene, perhaps?
I don't want to lead you on anything. What did you think about Nynaeve and Egwene? I'm sorry, Nynaeve and the Amarylline seat. Her little tutor time. Swan Chanches. Hey, this is Swan's Montessori. Welcome. I'm going to hurt you.
Okay, so so basically, what were you saying again?
No, we were talking about well, did you have anything else that you wanted to mention before we moved on to the Aes Sedai?
No.
Okay, so the Aes Sedai
Swan that Egwene.
The Amarylline comes in and starts giving them a lesson. Giving girls who aren't even Aes Sedai yet or novices or anything. This is like the Pope giving a seminarian Vatican lessons.
Pretty
right?
much.
Are there Vatican lessons? I'm sure, right? But this is like the Pope coming in and talking to like a little nun or so. Not even a nun. Someone who may want to be a nun.
Maybe a large nun. Maybe a large nun.
Maybe a medium, like an average sized nun. Ryan, none of that.
Stop me from listening to the words you're saying.
So,
eat it, Dan. Eat it.
Glowing at the foot of her bed.
Yep.
And then something about the glowing thing. I was like, is she doing that, or with the wine power, or is it somebody else doing that?
If it's someone else, who could that be?
That's the thing I have not put together. So I'm just assuming it was her.
Well, again, this is the queen of magic people. Right? The Amarylline is the queen of the magic people.
Right.
So she comes in and she gives these people a lesson, and she straight up just does things that I think the Geneva Convention frowns upon.
Yes.
You shouldn't really. And Egwin's like, mother, you forgot about me. She's like, oh, sorry, child. Yeah, I wrapped your shit up too.
I have a quote that resonated with me in particular, with Naive, and this, and the Amarylline. So it says, Naive bounded to her feet and threw her pillow at the closing door. That vile, contemptible, miserable hag. The light burned her. I'd like to feed her to the fish. I'd like to melt her with things that would turn her gray for the rest of her life. I don't care if she's old enough to be my mother. If I had her in Evansfield, she wouldn't sit down comfortably. Her teeth ground so loudly that Egwene jumped. If you can picture that.
What? Oh, is you grinding your teeth? That was weird.
Another piece of literature I've read.
Well, so what do you think of all that? Nynaeve's.
That's just so much she hates them once again.
Yep. Do you think that's going to come back later in the books?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you're feeling it. What
and
do you think?
Do you connected.
So if you could, Floaty, I'm sorry to interrupt you. If you could give Nynaeve advice, what advice would you give her right now?
Stop
She's having anger management issues.
Sure.
Say again?
Stop being a dick. Just let her hang out.
Nynaeve, stop being a dick.
All right, Nynaeve.
She doesn't listen.
Do you think she'd respond to that? Do you think that would make her happier or angrier?
Probably angry, but I don't care.
Nice. There you stop being a dick. Nynaeve,
you're such a dick right now.
Come on. Really.
And then I connected that to the book Wicked for obvious reasons.
Okay, so Nynaeve is Elphaba?
In some extent, in this situation, yeah.
Awesome. Go on.
Nynaeve is Elphaba. Spoiler, Nynaeve is Elphaba.
If you want to hear that.
Carolina agrees with you, Floaty.
Really?
That is the hottest take.
That's amazing. Yeah,
that is a good one.
She's just being like, oh. No, that was not the quote I was referring to. Here's it. The one that says Nynaeve turned to look at her. It was not your fault, she repeated, sounding unconvinced. But if you ever breathe one word, I'll. And I said, this made my heart ache for Nynaeve because she probably makes her feel it is her fault. I just couldn't help but go off on a tangent. This reminds me when I read Wicked in particular, when Elphaba tries to do good, like sell the wings to the monkeys and allow them to fly, creating Chisari, the first and head of the winged monkeys, and Elphaba taught him to talk, but then he only mimic what others said. and thinks she's doing good, but it's really the total opposite. She later figures out and wants to be wicked. She vows to never do another good deed unless it benefits her, like when she turned Fiero into the Scarecrow because she loved him so he could not die at her hands. I feel Naive will go down a similar road like Elphaba at this point.
That is fucking
sick.
sick.
Amazing. Floaties, bringing it. This is his best appearance yet.
Oh my gosh.
Time to Float is sweeping the nation.
And I have one more thing for those that have any of y'all seen Mean Girls?
Floating.
Mean Girls, go for it.
Have any of y'all seen it?
Yes.
Yeah, I live it.
Okay, so is it just, I don't know why, but I'm connecting Regina George to Selene for some reason.
Right.
He said it, not us. He said it, not us.
Oh, right. Floaties, bringing it. Hot takes.
For all I care.
That is amazing, Floaty. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My man, Floaty, well done as always. We put your blog link in the chat. Guys, you guys are seeing the quality of what Floaty has to bring. Read his thoughts. It's a really fun
notes, putting that out there.
He's doing the best he can. Like, there's so many voice chats he can't be in because they're spoiler filled, and he's very, very disciplined and making sure that he is not engaging in spoilers. He's a great first-time reader.
I'm seeing the chat say, wow. I'm seeing the chat say, way to go, Floaty. I'm seeing, oh, yeah, geez. All right, you're beloved, man. And he has his own little channel in our Discord in which he shares his thoughts as he's going through the chapters. It's fun to go on this journey with you. Floaty, thank you again for joining us. We love you.
Adios, buddy. See you next week. Wait, go back. Yes, what?
The chapters are next week.
We're doing the 3. So you've read 2 of the 3.
Okay.
19 through 21, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Amanda, give me more love. That's awesome speculation floating. You're going to be...
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Adios. Float away, my friend.
Bye.
Float away.
Oh, Floaty is...
Fly, fly, fly.
I am so glad he is a part of the show. I love his insights.
All right, Tavern patrons.
There it is. There it is. All right. Yeah.
Yep. I put not just the link to his blog, but also a link to the channel in Discord, so you can be taken straight to it if you want to see his Discord channel on top of it. So,
Robbie, my man. Thanks.
You're sounding like older and more drunk. As
my man. Yeah, Rob. You know what I like about you? There's 3 or 4 things. All right.
You can go spoilers now as well, by the way, Oliver.
All right, full spoilers.
When the spoiler banner is in the corner, we are full spoilers, so I just take it there.
Is Oliver... I thought Oliver was the first-time reader.
I thought so, too.
What the F?
Yeah, come on, Oliver. Get out. What?
Get the F out of here.
Well, I love you. I like your contributions, but I don't want you being spoiled. So I'm living in conflict right now, Oliver.
And Morgan, your hair looks great. I saw you working on it earlier. It really works well with the headphones.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's what I'm really pleased about is that I literally woke up and it looked like this, and I was just sort of like,
"That's the best."
She literally said, "Woke up like this." She said, "Woke up like this" was the hashtag. That's exactly what happened with Morgan today.
Me too.
She woke up a half hour before we went live. She's a nocturnal vampirist.
Morgan's like the only American that is not on my time when I don't sleep. Like if I stay up for American time, I can't hang out with Morgan. If I go to British time, it works.
Right.
Wow, he's a first-time reader that doesn't mind spoilers. That's kind of like.
All right, Hooch dies.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 20. I'm not ggoing to do that.
Like are we throwing out like never-ending story stuff now? Like, what's the horse that gets
Falcor?
Not Falcor. That's the
Atreyu.
Atreyu. Yeah, there we go.
Atreyu. Yeah. All right, so
also, Rainbow's like, wait. Nocturnal vampire? Well, are there vampires that are not nocturnal?
Yeah, in Twilight.
Twilight, you know.
Yeah, a vampire has to work a night shift or a day shift. Come on.
Morgan, how awesome does it feel when you start to twinkle in the sun? It's just vitamin D reacting with your skin, right? I mean, is that what
Well, I live in Oregon, so I don't get exposed to sun even if I'm awake in the daytime.
You live in Oregon. That Oregon is like the place of vampires outside of Transylvania.
Yeah.
We all agree.
Right. You get 12 days of sun.
Yeah, just about.
Spread out throughout the.
Rainbow's not buying it. Twilight vampires are not real vampires.
Everyone's on a daily like vitamin D supplement.
Yes, Daywalker.
Yeah, I take a vitamin D supplement.
Does Daywalker mean tax evader? Hey, deep joke. Sorry, Wesley Snipes.
Yeah,
pay your taxes, baby.
I hope you're doing a lot of push-ups.
Wow. All right, so guys, let's jump into Egwin and Swan. So the Amarylline. So Egwin, I'm sorry, Nynaeve and Swan. Nynaeve obviously doesn't like boats. I think this is kind of a foreshadowing to her whole experience in life. I don't think she likes things.
Like
just in general,
like things. Just in general.
When she got her first smartphone, she's like, God,
toothpicks. I hate toothpicks.
Who fucking likes toothpicks?
Oxygen. You know,
the toothpicks.
You know what? If I had her at Edmondsfield, I'd beat the skin off her. And people are like, that's kind of gross. No, I would literally keep beating her until I got to bone and flesh. Anyways,
That sounds like my need, yeah.
That's
Jesus
my girl.
Christ, it's almost every week you're like doing that, Brother Dan.
And Lance brings a tear to my stony visage.
He's trying to tell us something. He's trying to tell us something. We need to.
No. This is all therapy. I know what's going on. Like we have the authorities are monitoring it. His psychiatrist is watching every episode to make sure he's not. I actually, Glenn might be his psychiatrist's name.
I'm using a soda can. All right, that's what we use in prison. Soda cans. All right, so all right. Do you think did you find it weird now in retrospect for the Amarylline to come visit these people and do this type of training, or is this just par for the course on a boring river drive where you have a couple weeks to kill and there's just two young pups in the thing and you want to just do whatever?
Nah, it's not par for the course.
I think it's part. Well, it's part for Swan and Moraine's course. I think that just I don't know. Knowing the whole books, basically knowing Swan, I kind of feel like it's basically just like she's just like assessing her forces. She's just like, okay, you're strong. You're even stronger. You have a temper. You basically can't be pushed. You could be only pushed up to a certain point. She kind of needed to, because even Alana, not Alviarin. What's that? The one with the braids. The one with the braids who came to Paldara. Leandrin. They all pretty much came and visited the girls on the way. So maybe Swan was just bored and decided to say, all right, let me just do my meeting now. But at the same time, on a cruise, all the kids are using all the ping pong tables and the huge chess pieces. So there's nothing else to do except for go to Lido deck or basically go and speak to the two expected novices. Basically,
Lido deck.
All right.
Hey, I've seen this magician twice already. He kind of
Two things.
He's got shitty circus skills. He can't even do a Rubik's cube. So.
2 things on what Nakomi just
comedy
said.
show again.
You left out beer pong, which is the only thing that seems as though you should have mentioned. Not sure why you didn't.
Not sure
why you didn't.
I'm trying to make a request, and all he's doing is staring at my teenage daughter.
It seems as though fraternity lifestyle is the only thing that is happening on that boat. But also, No, I see what I would say it is par for the course if they were ever used to having Aes Sedai of the power that Egwene and Nynaeve were. But I don't think, like, for instance, if you had someone like with half the power that they did, that Swan would even blink an eye, she probably wouldn't give a fuck about them. But because Egwene and Nynaeve are on the boat, I think, yeah, she wants to see for real that somebody, first of all, is just like stronger than she is. But also, like, wants to see, like, what that means and what that looks like and what she should be assessing, how it should be considered a threat or not a threat. So, like, yes, I think if you're the Amyrlin Seat, like, you know somebody's coming into your house that's about to kind of be not necessarily a contender or a competition, but, like, in a sense, you need to know the power of your own team. Like, to put it in football terms, you need to know who's going to be the quarterback, who's going to you wide receiver.
Yep.
Like,
Hi-yo.
I'm just going to make it real American real quick. You got to know how fast they're going to run. You need to know how fast they're going to run. You need to know how badass they're going to be.
You need legs to be a tight end, Ryan?
And of course you do that.
Nope.
Yes, you do.
You need arms that reach past your chest.
No. Oh, you don't see Tom Brady's hand up Rob Gronkowski's ass? You don't see that?
Yeah, okay.
Wait, shit, we're talking sports?
A little bit.
Sorry, I thought
we talk sports real quick.
I thought we were talking BDSM.
That's not different, actually. It's the same.
Yeah. It's just televised.
There's the revolution will be televised, and it happens to be
will it be
American NFL football.
Teletubberized.
No, but yeah, no, I agree that I think it would be par for the course if everyone was of their power, because, like, obviously an Amyrlin would need to know about, like, the person that's going to be the next equivalent foil, if you will, to the Dragon Reborn. But yeah,
Morgan, so we hear, Morgan, that there was that the Amyrlin had heard about Nynaeve. They said, "Oh, you need to get pissed off before you can do shit." More or less, she had already heard this. Do you think that if it was just Elsa Griswold or whoever, some rando in there, that she would have come and done the same kind of lesson to try to see just what their powers were, or do you think that this was a rare occurrence?
Well, I don't think she went in there necessarily because of their powers. I think that was probably extra. And I think that, on base plot level, that you've got to figure that Nynaeve and Egwene are political pieces, and Egwene is actually thinking that the Amyrlin is looking at them as she would at their tools. Yep. When Swan and Moraine first have their conversation, and Swan is talking about how the Reds have gained importance and power in the Hall of the Tower because Elida has brought Elaine to Tarvalin, and she is, powerful and has great potential. And so Nynaeve and Egwene are like counter tools for that, because, they're sort of like, blue balances red. And so it's like, here are two other recruits that are also very powerful. For a pure writing standpoint, this is a great kind of compare contrast, a great way to kind of develop Swan's character from a different perspective. And because she and Nynaeve are so much alike, she's like an older, more controlled version of Nynaeve who has a different power dynamic. So she doesn't have to fight as hard for respect, but she still is very much like full hammer in a lot of the ways in which she does things. And I think she probably, in the background, in ways that we weren't ever shown, faced a lot of the same kind of ageist issues when she first started out as Amyrlin, since she was only 30 at the time, and that she probably started out with a fairly weak power dynamic and really had to fight and scrap and bully to be able, because she is a bully in much the same way that Nynaeve is a bully. And also Nynaeve, it's being put forth that she should start out as an accepted because she is so powerful, and that is not something that is ever done. So it makes sense to have the Amyrlin go down there, give a lesson, and assess this to decide whether that's something that should really happen.
Can she get away with it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can who get away with what? I'm sorry.
Oh, Ken, I was just thinking, like, Ken, I mean, she usually, person doesn't go right, right to basically walking in the tower and immediately go take their accepted test. So, I mean, the fact that she needed to, assess whether or not test her, or not just her mettle, but, her strength. I mean, basically, they needed to know whether or not because I mean, you usually would go and take the accepted test after they're sure that you can
survive.
So, well, not just survive. I guess they kind of find that out on the way, but more so just grasp, can embrace the source basically, and have a certain amount at least of control or whatever like that. And the fact that she was immediately able to recreate the Armelin's weave and pin her to the wall. I mean, she didn't know how to basically cut her off from the source, but at the same time, she's like, yeah, you know at least how to do all the novice exercises, or at least you're past the need for novice exercises, quote unquote, past the need. That she still basically rails against that.
That was such a funny scene too. She's like, shall we just release each other? Huh?
Yeah, Nynaeve has a lot of handicaps, but she has a lot of things going for her beyond just raw power. She remembers everything that she sees, which is a talent that, if you have ever tried to tie knots or learn how to tie knots, even simple knots, it's really difficult to remember the proper orientation and stuff for them. And so it's not an easy talent. So to remember how to make weaves and knots or whatever, just that kind of thing, to tie things or make things in a proper way, I'm sure, especially with channeling, it's got to be even more complex because you're using different weaves of the power. To see and remember the first time how to do something is an incredible talent.
Absolutely.
Are we assuming that? Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
In the next book, we see her do this in the middle of an ambush and hella battle. She uses the weaves that she sees being used against her. She learns them instantaneously and murders. Not murders, but kills a bunch of soldiers. So is there any other character that we know kind of has this ability to learn weaves that are being used against them, or just seeing them happen and then learn them on the spot?
Rand.
And that question, are we assuming that Nynaeve is Are we assuming that Nynaeve is actually seeing the weaves at this point?
If she's angry enough.
Yeah.
Okay, because Egwene is just barely able to sense a glow, but she is not seeing weaves at all in her points of view at this point.
That's a good point. Nynaeve is decidedly taking the exact thing that's used against her and putting it on the other person. So, she must be on some level seeing that. But that's a good point. It seems like have they talked about her ability to just see the weaves happening in real time?
Well, I mean, to me, it seems there's two parts to it. Maybe it is that she has a certain talent for it, because we do know that each Aes Sedai, even the weakest, usually has a talent towards something. Maybe this is one of hers. But I also think, in this situation, Swan does tell her what she's doing. She says it's a simple thing of air. And so when she says that, I think Nynaeve, though she has a very limited experience with what the power actually is, she's been working with the power for at least as long as she's been a wisdom, and at least even maybe before that, because otherwise she wouldn't become the wisdom. So I think just giving her that inkling meant that even though Nynaeve might not be able to see it, she might be able to see it and not know what she's seeing, but just giving that little bit of it to Nynaeve might have been enough for Nynaeve to just take it and kind of and move with it and make something more of it. But I would be interested to kind of maybe look through more of the books and find out if, because Nynaeve has such an instinct most of the time about everything she does, with especially when it comes to her own power. It seems like she just kind of finds it out and figures it out quite quickly. I mean, even if you think about healing people that have been cut off from the source, it's very instinctual to her. She just kind of figures it out and looks for it and searches for it and gets so ingrained in it,
Which is interesting, because early on, the common knowledge is that the angrier we are, the stupider we are. in real life, in my life. I can
Right.
That's a common understanding. Like when we're angry, our brain is not
it's hard to focus
in problem solving at all. But she's able to, be in that state and like somehow like become like she basically hulks out.
I think Nynaeve has really bad anxiety, and so she uses anger to like kind of power through that. And so the anger is what kind of helps her settle herself in a way, and that's how she deals with her anxiety.
Do you think, Morgan, if she was not raised as a wisdom and given all this responsibility at an early age, she would be the same person?
I think that, I don't know. I mean, when I kind of like explored her mommy issues, I think that she would have less confidence probably. She was forced to kind of rise to the occasion. You have to be able to, hold your own. And so in order to do those things, I think that she's made, her anger into a tool, because it's just sort of like, and she uses it to be able to not, melt down or freak out. And like there's a point in The Dragon Reborn where it says that like her rage at Moraine is all that's keeping her going, which I just noticed this time with my read through and realized that maybe that's how she's dealing with her trauma and just like the build of her anxiety and everything is that she just has a focusing point for her rage. And so it doesn't even matter that it's illogical, and she knows that it's illogical, but it's like a coping mechanism that she has because she is so fundamentally an anxious person.
I remember one time I had someone comment on one of my videos basically saying that they thought that Nynaeve was actually on the developmental spectrum, that she might have like she might have I guess she might be on the spectrum of having Asperger's, and like basically saying that her interaction with people and also her hyper focus on weaves or ability with weaves basically kind of mirrors what some people basically the abilities of some people with basically developmental issues, basically the way that they interact with people and also how they can basically focus and be excellent at the things that they're really good at, kind of like that guy who he has developmental issues, but he could basically draw an entire city from memory, basically, into a huge, thing. So I always thought that was very interesting when, whenever I think about Nynaeve of thinking that. I of course, I don't know if it was any part of Robert Jordan's idea when it came to Nynaeve, but it is something that to think about. Basically,
I love thinking. I love that idea that Robert Jordan had neurodivergency in his, but never addressed it. But just and it was not a disability for her.
Right.
It was actually a spark for creativity and for her to actually develop. That is a fantastic take. I love reading things with the neurodivergent mentality. We could probably pick a couple people that actually made.
Well, no. For me, I would say Loyal's neurodivergent, and I also would go back to that point about that commenter. I would say that Nynaeve's relationship with Lan kind of undercuts that whole argument. She has an intense, a very, very subtle and nuanced understanding of this very complicated man, and was able to like understand his needs, rally, do complicated things behind the scenes just to get what he needs for him to fulfill. It's kind of like his destiny. So I don't see that. I see that she is very understanding of human intentions and human emotions.
Right.
And she gets wounded by them, which is why she's so triggered easily. But I also think that there's something about her rage that makes her unable to see clearly, which is why she's able to sustain this the Moraine rivalry, which never made sense to me. Like even in the book, this reread, it never made sense that she was so mad at Moraine. And unless I get into her psyche as a wounded person who needs to like motivate herself through rage, and that's the only way I could like conjure up any way of understanding that, because why were we fucking mad at Moraine? Like, what's going on? It never made sense.
It never made sense to me either because I was someone who struggled with Nynaeve and really disliked her character, so I did those 2 episodes to kind of build empathy for her. Great. And yeah, going back and trying to like be like, probing her mommy issues and all that kind of stuff, just reading the bit in the Wheel of Time Companion about her mom and being like, oh, her mom sounds like she's hypercritical, and maybe she is just one of those types of people who can't bear any kind of criticism. And the more I kind of peeled that all away and thought, she sounds like somebody who has terrible anxiety and just is angry all the time to cope with it. And maybe I wouldn't have anxiety attacks or whatever if I were just constantly pissed. Maybe I wouldn't melt down if I were constantly angry, but I can't cope with that. I can't deal with things that way. So if that's her way of moving through the world, I can understand that. Even if I could never be friends with her, I can get why she's that way, and it can make me more patient with her as a person, and appreciate her better. And I can appreciate her relationship with Lon too, because it's sort of like if you have a character who is, an adult but is treated like a child, is qualified for a job that they're doing and is treated like they're not, and is just basically patted on the head by all of the older adults around them. Having an older adult who is not infantilizing and recognizes her worth and everything, I see her automatically finding that so incredibly attractive in him, and that kind of like lighting the spark between them right away, as just being one of those things where it's just sort of like, here is an older person who recognizes my worth, and so that gets that going between them, which is one of the reasons why I find their relationship so much more genuine and so much less cringy than most of the other relationships in the story.
Yeah, but let me challenge just a tiny bit though. So Nynaeve, when the Emerald leaves, she's like, God damn fucking bitch, I want to feed her to the fish. I want to tear her limb from limb. She was violent. Like she had, I won't say psychopathic tendencies. Maybe she was just venting, but her venting was violent.
Have you ever found yourself sitting at home thinking you just want to destroy something?
Have you never had anger issues, Dan?
Hey, baby, it's no!
So, yeah,
I mean, have you never left a meeting with your boss and was like, I want to fucking feed him to the fish?
That's what weed is for.
I think
that's how Dan expresses anger.
One of the most infuriating things for Nynaeve about Swan Sanche is that she recognizes a lot of herself in Swan Sanche. They're very similar people in many ways. So personally, I'm the type of person, when I meet people like myself, I can't fucking stand them. And, I don't know why that is, but it's just like, generally people I meet that are like myself rub me the wrong way, and God knows what kind of things that means about my psychology. But I can see Nynaeve being the type of person where she meets someone who reminds her of herself, that really irritates her, and then someone who reminds her of herself that is in a position of power over her. I could see that would just make her fucking insane.
Not only a position of power, a position of physical restraint, and feeding her goop. Some fucking weird goop. What is this goop that she... It's like Tom and Jerry giving castor oil. All right, Tom, you seem sick. I'm giving you castor oil. And he's like, no, and gets like this stupid spoon in his face. What was this goop? What did she make?
I don't know, and I don't think in further canon it makes sense to be able to conjure something out of the air like that. It's not like you can do like a summoning charm or something like in Harry Potter, unless there's some nastiness that you can like maybe pull out of the air. Maybe there's general fishiness on the river.
I bet it's just fish guts. I mean,
and maybe
impressive, perhaps too impressive. Make a note of that.
Morgan is impressive.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, her doing whatever she can to keep Nynaeve's anger up as a way, because she's just sort of like this. Okay, you're a little bit broken, but you're also very talented. So if has a divergency in her brain where they have to take this path around to be able to get her, functional, and until they can fix the blockage so that she can, get straight through. She's like, I got to do what I got to do to see what you can do. And I think part of that is the fact that, these two girls are incredibly important because she's going to need as many Aes Sedai as she can have that will be supportive of the Dragon Reborn. So it's like she needs them trained up as quickly as possible, as powerful as possible, and and whipped into shape basically. And so much of what RJ does as far as people in power being shitty to people underneath them is very much, I feel, based upon his experience in the military. It's like, so people rob each other of agency and shit all over each other, and that is so very military structure. And I think that that's just writing what you know.
Right. And I'm always when I write poetry, I kind of go in this kind of dream state. I'm always talking about sweaty hands. sweaty, warm hands that are cramping up. Well, and to your point earlier, Morgan, you had mentioned her memorization of things. That goop trick, Nynaeve's like, hey, I remember how to do that, so don't fuck with me.
Yeah, and one of the things that my issues with Nynaeve is that she immediately turns her bullying onto Egwene. And so it's like there's Egwene, her punching bag, until Egwene's finally like not having it anymore, which is why Egwene is a shit to Nynaeve all throughout the Dragon Reborn, and it's a frustrating relationship, but it's sort of like, I get it, she has to pull away. Yeah, she has to pull away, and she's over it, and she's traumatized too, and so it's just this sort of, and then there's one of the things I've been enjoying doing is exploring the non-POV characters and how they might be experiencing situations and scenes. So I'm wondering if maybe as I'm drafting episodes for the Dragon Reborn, I might spend a little time imagining what's going on in Elaine's head as Nynaeve and Egwene are traveling to Tyr, because I'm one of the rare people who actually really likes Elaine, and I can imagine her just being like, God, these bitches, I want to drown them. So I just
right, worst sorority ever. You're like, God, what is this? What is this, Big Brother?
Yeah, she's like, seriously, we're facing existential threats, and they want to snipe at each other. Fuck this, So
right.
Yeah.
I always wondered to myself, why did Elaine slap Egwene and not like turn around and slap Nynaeve right after that? Because they both kind of needed it.
Because Nynaeve would have kicked her ass.
Because she might literally have scars from childhood abuse from Nynaeve.
Elaine respects Nynaeve. They have a bromance that started on Tome and Head, and it's sort of like, because Elaine doesn't have the past of Nynaeve bullying her, she's not fazed by her temper, and she's just sort of like, because she's a princess and she's raised in this position of respecting people who have ability, not being concerned about, it's like she has a nurse and she's a commoner, but she's sort of like, she smacked me around when I needed it and gave me good advice, so she respects people, and she trusts Nynaeve, her judgment and everything, and she was just sort of like, Egwene was way out of line. That was a shitty thing to say, and so she turned around and smacked her because she was wrong, and Nynaeve was doing what she felt she had to do in a shitty situation, and so I don't feel like Nynaeve deserved to be smacked in that moment. There were lots of moments.
Not at all.
Nynaeve deserves to be smacked, not then. So.
No, definitely not. I always think of also that how Egwene would say, Elaine was saying that she actually would choose Nynaeve to be her Aes Sedai advisor, basically after she becomes queen. That just shows how a person who is trained to use good judgment and pick good advisors, picked at Nynaeve, basically she would like to have Nynaeve basically as her consigliere, and I can see that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point as well, because with Nynaeve, even by the end of the books, even after her testing, she was like, I don't really want to be an Aes Sedai. Like, I know what they're going to teach me. I know what they're going to do. I don't care for it. I don't care for the illusions. I don't care for the dishonesty. I don't care for the way that they manipulate. I just want to, do what is right to me and do that because I think it's right. And whether that is right or wrong, it's up to me to make that choice. And I think that's something so refreshing about Nynaeve's arc in a way, is that you expect, I think, especially, in the earlier books, you expect her to at some point to just come to the realization that she's been wrong about being so stubborn and rude. But actually, though she does come to respect Moiraine for what Moiraine did, she doesn't ever kind of bow down to the idea that she's supposed to, be an Aes Sedai. She still is very much like, I'm a wisdom and I'm a person that cares and helps others. Before she's like, I'm an Aes Sedai, or I'm supposed to be some god or whatever. She kind of is always for the people that she loves before she's for the people. Not for the people, but before she's for like prophecy or before
status
she's for
or
big. Yeah, exactly.
And to
power,
your point,
maybe.
Oh Jesus! God
it's
damn
why
it.
You really hit a point that I really love about Carolina. Like, Nynaeve is clearly like for the people. If there's a Bernie Sanders in this fucking book, is Nynaeve, like, for fucking sure. And she's fighting the good fight. You always feel it, but I just, for some reason, I always thought there was like a kind of like a weird plot device that was so hateful of Moiraine, like so early on.
In the beginning of this too, it's like it's almost as if all the Aes Sedai was like, Moiraine, Nynaeve, she can do stuff if she only gets really pissed off, and the Amarillen's like, all right, hold my beer. And goes and just pisses her off, like is the most antagonistic. When I read this initially, I had honestly thought that Swan was the queen of the magic people, like the Eldron, or the most powerful of the Aes Sedai. And in this scene, she does kind of demonstrate that she may be. She whips out a sword and turns it into a knife. She starts floating around Nynaeve and doing all this stuff. None of the other people did this I think they just danced fire over their fingers and said, hey, that's pretty fun.
And they pass it back and forth.
The Amarillo came in bad fucking ass and like showing some power. And so to your point, Carolyn, where she was like, I don't even want to be Aes Sedai. The Amarillo addressed all that. And it was like, oh, okay. Yeah, you don't want to do that? If someone with the sword comes up, I can do that, but I can also do this. Boom. And I can cut you off from the power too. You haven't learned that. Do you still want to not be Aes Sedai? She like pretty much addressed these things, and Nynaeve was like, yeah, okay. Yeah, I want to be cool. I want to learn this stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much her whole lesson was like, oh yeah, you don't want to be Aes Sedai? Well, check it. Check what we can actually do. I'm going to open this door that you haven't even seen.
But it's cool because by the end of the books, you realize that's not singular to Aes Sedai.
Yep.
You realize so many women actually, whether they're from sea folk to Aiel culture to even the kin.
The kin, yeah.
Or some of these people, they just knew how to do it because they worked together long enough, or they have their own ways of doing it. It's all I love. What I love so much about the Aiel with their way of doing their wise ones is that like they knew different ways to do things that that Aes Sedai didn't even think of, and I think that's one of the best things about the books is that you never feel like it's actually trapped to one thing, whether it's about being, an Aes Sedai or just anything. Like, it always felt like there was a different way to do everything, which made it feel like, okay, these characters are doing these things because they want to, but they're also doing these things because there's so many different ways they could do them, which means that the story is going in this direction for a real reason instead of because it's an easy reason. I don't know if that totally makes sense, but like everything feels like you have to make a real choice instead of it's just the only choice you have.
That's the way they've been doing it for 3,000 years.
Well, it's like in the Age of Legends, Aes Sedai, it wasn't necessarily a full-time job. Like plenty of people had other jobs that they did. And so it almost seems like in the Fourth Age, there might be this sort of evolution into something like that. And I always see the White Tower as being kind of this structure of like this combination of a military academy, almost like it's like one of the military academies and the Pentagon at the same time.
West Point.
Yeah, I think of the Naval Academy just because that's the one in Washington, D.C., but yeah, it's just like that. And so it's like this combination, of a service academy and the Pentagon at the same time. And so maybe in the Fourth Age, some of the Aes Sedai can be reservists. They don't have to be full-time soldiers. They will be able to be off doing civilian life, and they will only occasionally be called to do Aes Sedai duties, and that it will be, something else like that. And I mean, it does seem like there are plenty of Aes Sedai who go off into the world and just kind of ignore the White Tower and do their own thing, which, why wouldn't you want to do that? It seems like the politically ambitious ones, or else the ones who I think about the Brown sisters who are quote unquote loyalists in the Tower. How many of them stayed in the Tower just because they didn't want to lose all their books and shit?
Well, they didn't even notice that there was even a uprising. They were just like, everyone left.
Yeah, it's like, wait, what happened?
Chapter 112.
Yeah, I was in the basement. I was getting something, but yeah, I was thinking about like particularly something. This one, this Brown sister who got sent on Elida's embassy, Nassoon, and she's talking about like her specimen boxes and everything, and I'm like, I bet she doesn't give a shit about Elida being Amyrlin. I bet it was just sort of like, she's like, I'm not gonna go be in some nasty village in the middle of nowhere when I've got all of my books and all my specimen boxes. I'm not gonna be concerned about people fucking with my stuff. I'm gonna stay here where all my shit is because I've got my life's work. And she doesn't care about politics or anything else. It's just a matter of, she wants to keep her stuff.
That kind of defines like 99% of us, I think. Why don't we move? Well, because of all of our stuff.
Yeah, our shit's here.
I'm tired. Yeah. I'm just tired,
I don't want to.
It's the worst.
I need a nap. I need a nap, That's it.
Yeah.
Little tower, big tower, who cares?
Yeah, it's like I don't want to like pack or anything, and it's like, or
big tower, small dreams. Big tower, small dreams.
That's what Green Aja started with. They just two guys in a truck. It was some moving company. They're like, all right, I need you guys with me always.
Yeah, that's where the snake ring came from, was the U-Haul company that was like, we go in one direction and one direction only.
Guys, I don't know where Ryan went, but I think we're.
So when the hell's our Ryan?
I think we're gonna start wrapping it up.
Yeah.
I think we're like at the 3-hour mark now.
2 hours, 56 minutes, and 31 seconds.
Yeah, you guys are soldiers, and you guys are my people. I love this.
Dan, I've got one for you. Though.
Listen, Dan here is the man.
Oh shit! A new one. I like that one. You have free license to use that every day.
Listen, Dan here is the man.
I want you to wake up. I want that to be your alarm.
Well, that's a bit much. I had one for Ryan, but he left. So
yeah, I don't know where he went. Hey, he does that, man. He's like a fucking leprechaun.
Quick question. Sorry. In the second age, was Asmodean's his night job, was he a bartender? I could see him as a bartender. He
I see him flipping some cocktails around and shit.
He plays guitar during the daytime, trying to get his garage band off the ground, and basically at night he bartends and just complains about everybody never tipping him. Basically,
he gave like violin lessons or something. I know that Mogedion like ran pyramid schemes or something like that. It says in the Wheel of Time companion that she was an advisor for investments. Like,
oh no, she was a hedge funder.
Totally.
Oh no! Gross.
Gosh.
I hope she lost tons of money in the GameStop thing.
Yeah. Right.
All right, Morgan, the podcast of the dragon. Again, it is. I didn't really give you much props earlier, but your podcast is wonderful. I enjoy your take. I enjoy your voice. I enjoy everything about what you're doing. Thank you very much for joining us again. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
You're muted, Ryan.
The myth.
I had many dogs barking for a while there. I had to deal with that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm wrapping up. I'm letting our people go.
You're doing a rap?
Yeah. What? Oh no! Are we doing a rap? Okay. All right. Yeah. All right.
Oh yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm getting there. All right,
you said you're doing a rap.
This was a great show. You see, we had Morgan, Carolina Nakomi. They were all spitting knowledge. It really blew my mind and gave me a
solid.
Fuck. Gave me a solid. All right, hold on. Morgan, thank you. I love your podcast. Your voice is very soothing and your takes are hot, and I love hearing it. Nakomi, drive safe. I fear for your safety. I see that you have your seatbelt on, but I don't want you on your phone when you're driving. Makes me anxious. Okay.
What rhymes with anxious, Dan?
I think you're feeling what?
What rhymes with anxious?
I'm gonna
rambunctious. Let's go.
Rambunctious. Whatever. Thank you, Ryan. Carolina, with your portraits on the wall, they're pretty small. I can't really tell what they're all about, but the black and white, and I think that they are really out of sight. No, literally, I can't really see them. But thank you so much for being on the show. I think we gotta go. So you guys are cheers to the dog.
Hey,
cheers.
We gotta go.
My rat game is weak. I'm sorry. I need some sleep.
Better freestyle than I got.
Yeah.
Nakomi, you ready?
You want some?
I don't have a freestyle.
Too late. No pressure. But we'll do it.
Here's a hint. Nakomi rhymes with all kinds of Italian food.
Exactly.
And pony.
Blue cheese macaroni. The minestrone.
You gotta show
After
me.
dessert cannoli. Yay!
Pretty Tony.
I love a cannoli.
Is there an after show, boys?
My friends, thank you for coming. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us. This has been one of my favorite shows. I think these talks are better than any I've ever heard in my life.
Hey, let's not insult our past guests, my brother.
No, these are better.
No, please.
These are better.
Oh my God!
But next week you'll say the same shit.
Oh,
right.
I'm a whore.
You are.